and Ron.
This is The Modern Eater Show.
Piping hot and delicious.
The Modern Eater.
Food, 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 food.
Come and get it. And now your hosts, Greg Hollenback, Jay Parker, and Brian Freeman.
Okay, welcome to The Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio. Greg Hollenback, Jay Parker, Brian Freeman. We're all in our places, and a lot's changed in just 1 week, so thank you for tuning in tonight. As we have been streaming on the Modern Eater Facebook page and YouTube all week long from 2 to 5 p.m. And basically just to get the reaction as the Front Range reacts to basically what is the rippling effect of the shutdown of service industry right now. It seems like supermarkets are being flooded and doing just fine, better than ever. And the links are broken right now in food service, and we're seeing that all over the place as people jockey for position, for survival. All week long, I've kind of been trying to figure out just an example of what this feels like. And welcome as you're coming in on Facebook and YouTube. We would like to get your feedback as well. I've been kind of just rolling around in my head. What's this feeling like? What are we experiencing here as we see unemployment skyrocketing and our friends in the service industry losing their jobs and the very existence that they knew for so long as things are changing so rapidly, and the restaurateurs that are faced with shutting their doors and letting everybody go to basically see what they can do to pick up the pieces and survive. And as I came in, it came to me clear in the shower. That's where I do my best thinking. And I thought, this is the feeling that Linus had when he lined up to kick that football. And it was pulled away from him, and Linus would fall on his ass each time. And he, he had the best intentions. And one of the things that struck me earlier on in the week, looking for comment from one of the best restaurateurs I know in Brother Luck in Colorado Springs, who was just too choked up last Monday when it came down the line from the Denver Mayor Michael Hancock and the governor talking about, okay, this is it. We're closing them down. It's true. And it just sat in quickly. It was a kick to the gut of every single one of us. And Brother Luck put out a video that said, we didn't do anything to screw this up. This wasn't our fault. And that's a very tough pill to swallow. A lot of times when there's strife or challenges in life, those challenges are something maybe that are build up or accumulation of bad decisions or just immorality or just basically things that were your fault. Right now, none of that exists. As the existence of all of us are challenged throughout the hours and days and weeks ahead. Can't tell you how much that the Modern Eater Show has been humbled in the past week to be able to hear stories of our friends and our colleagues and people that are so dear to us, to hear them sound off and talk about losing everything. It's a hard thing to understand, and it's a hard thing to put any rhyme or reason to or make sense of, because the unsurety is what's certain. The only thing that's certain right now is uncertainty. It's a very tough thing. One thing that strikes me and I'm so very proud of is seeing the resiliency and the ability to adapt and evolve and so quickly pivot and take a left-hand turn when you need to. So many things are involved in that, and I encourage you, if you're around, we're going to go wall-to-wall coverage as long as we possibly can. We've been quadrupling our efforts here at the Modern Eater to bring you programming day in and day out. Experts, people who lost everything, people that are doing well in retail, food service. And right now, I think the temperature is hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait is one of those things you think about, well, what's the next action? How can you take another action? How can you move forward when you don't know the parameters of which you're playing in? Just like a football game, those parameters are set before you start the game. Right now we're starting a game that we don't even know what the rules are. They're changing daily and they're rapid. We've been visited by Sonia Riggs from the Colorado Restaurant Association on a daily basis. It shows you organizations like that and people that are really earning their money on a local, a state, and a federal level, bringing us information day to day this past week as we've documented it. Day one, I believe, is last Monday, and kind of the timeline is restaurants and food service braces as the governor and the Denver mayor ordered dining rooms to close. That's last Monday. Supermarkets were packed with panic buyers. Day two, last Tuesday, record layoffs and unemployment gets buried as restaurants bleed. Day three, restaurants are forced to adapt or die. This is how quickly these things are changing and evolving. Day four, where is the help? Watching small businesses suffocate. Small business loans available, but in a business in such small margins in food service, do you want a loan? Do you want to saddle more debt to carry yourself into the future, or do you want to just throw the keys into what was formerly your baby, your business, and have the landlord come pick them up and regroup on the other side of this tragedy? Day five, the purge. The restaurants, you start to see them unloading their coolers to those in need, of friends and family, and really, what's their model? What are they going to do? Or curbside or delivery? How are they adapting? Today is day six. Hurry up and wait. And again, feeling just like Linus, having that football pulled out right from underneath us as we're trying to make that kick to score. It's terrible, Brian. Brian Freeman joins us, and this is what we're looking at, my friend. I don't mean to seem doomsdayish, but there's a lot to unpack here, and if you're not upset, you're not paying attention.
Well, it's definitely sobering, Greg. We are in a place that's, uncharted. We've never have been here to this place, and I hope we never have to go here again. I think one of the important things around this, Greg, is that it's so deep, and this is affecting, as it affects, the front line, which is, obviously the restaurants and the food service people, but all of the industry that serves those people. And it gets so much deeper because when you think about it, a brewery might have bought grain from a farmer, made some beer, and they can't sell their beer now at the rate that they were selling, so their payables are all of a sudden going to get behind. That's going to trickle down to the farm. That's going to trickle down to the farm workers. I think you have that all the way down. You look at someone like myself. I had to go through some heart-wrenching layoffs. I'm at a place of where I'm forfeiting my pay to make sure other people can stay on the boat because, I'm an owner. I'm someone who thinks about this for the long term, that I need these people and I can't push some of my people out. I'm super fortunate because not only do I deal with restaurants, but I also deal in the retail space. And that's, as you said, that's booming. I want to give, though, before I really move into the retail side of things, I want to give a shout out because I have been impressed how the restaurants are changing and adapting rather quickly. And I think, through our struggles, it really determines our character. And this is one of those moments that we're all really having to dig deep and search within ourselves and find out what is this new life going to be for us? What does a new normal feel like? How do we adapt? Chow and John Hinman and our friend Justin Brunson and some others, I believe Alex Seidel was in this, giving, we had donated a bunch of food to them to give to their employees, to give meals and food. That spirit right now, I think, is incredible in the restaurant. So I want to give a shout out. I saw today's D-Bar. All these great restaurants are doing things for their employees. And I saw earlier in the week, Linda at the Bindery gave, everybody, and we're hearing stories and stories and stories. So huge shout out. One of the things that I think is cool with the John Hinman group is with Chow is they got a bunch of mental health hours of counseling donated because that's another thing that we don't think about is what is the mental toll this is taking on all the restaurant and food service industry. So, that's a big thing. And then, I'll segue into the retail side of things because for me, it's like that was my only saving grace. If I didn't service the retail, you're going to see, food distributors are gonna. I've already heard of a few, and even in places like California, that was their whole business is serving hotels in Vegas. Those businesses aren't operating at all right now. So that's a big thing. But the retail is up 75%, and it's every day. They're up 75% every single day. So what's going to be interesting, and I don't want to create any more panic, but next week the farms are harvesting as fast as they can on the fresh food side of things, and I'm starting to see small cabbage. And when a farmer is selling you small cabbage or telling you, hey, my lettuce isn't sizing up, what that means is we're going to be in a situation where there isn't anything for them to harvest in a couple weeks. And so we need to slow that down. I would encourage consumers, don't go out and buy more than you need. It's not, the food chain will work. The system will work if we let it. But if we make this massive reaction that what we've been doing, we're going to have bigger things. But, and last week it rained all week in California. No one thought about that piece as well. So there's so much on my mind because, imports are being shut down from other countries right now. So, those things that aren't in season in the U.S. are going to stop coming to the grocery stores. The prices are up because the supply is so limited. There's a lot going on. I'm going to turn it back to you because I could talk for a half an hour just about the impact that we're going to see on our food system and our food chain. And how important it is that we all sort of take a step back and do something right to move forward.
I think you can all see why we find it very important here at the Modern Eater to just broadcast and stream as much as we possibly can in the days ahead. Brian Freeman, who I said invented produce, has a lot to say, and I think that these voices absolutely need to be heard. Before we break, one thing that struck me from your conversation there is about panic buying. Please, make the jump across to you understand why we don't need to overflood our health system right now. That's why we're doing the social distancing. That's why we're trying to curb this coronavirus so it doesn't turn into full-on COVID-19 to folks and have our hospitals overwhelmed. Let's not have our food overwhelmed at this point in time. Yeah. We've got great guests lined up for you this evening. I got to tell you, in the next hour at 7 p.m., you're going to want to hang on because Sonia Riggs is going to join us from the Colorado Restaurant Association. There's an update, and again, this is the type of you're in the matrix. Anything goes at this point, and it's been announced that restaurants will have the ability to do delivery and curbside for alcoholic beverages. That's remarkable. There are so many things swirling around questions of how will that work. She'll answer those questions at 7 p.m. Next segment, Richie Snyder. He's usually here with us. He's at home doing the right thing, taking care of his mom and making sure everything's well on that front. He is in food service manufacturing. Everybody knows him from Raquelita's Tortillas, so we're going to jump in with him. 6:30, we will jump in with Chris Johnson from Rome Sausage. As you can see, I'm supporting local. I would love for you, everybody, to take that example and wear one of your favorite brands. Support local. Actually walk the walk. It's real easy to click that Amazon button and have food delivered to your door in some sense. But you got to remember, keep those dollars in town. Keep them right here in our community. At 6:45, she's our new spirit guide. Her name is Dr. Sara Metz. She's with Code 4 Counseling. We met Dr. Sara over FaceTime this week doing interviews with her, and she was recommended by the Colorado Restaurant Foundation and Mary Mino, and what a home run. She's such a great lady and inspirational in times like this, and I think we could all use a little bit of inspiration. So stick around. 6:45, Sara Metz will join us. 7:15, Johnathan Shikes from Westword. He's the Colorado beer man, and lots moving in the world of breweries and distilleries and what's happening and what we can and cannot do. So Johnathan Shikes will join us. Also at 7:30, Alyssa Thorpe. She's in studio with us right now in Jagged Mountain. These guys we've loved them before. We're going to love them after this, and we just want to hear what they're doing to continue to have that footing right now in such troubled times. So can't wait to check in with them. And then 7:45, Booze in the News, all the booze news you can use, and we'll still do it with Duston Evans and Rocker Spirit. If that's not enough, I don't know what is. Sit back, relax. You're probably at home right now. That's my guess. You're at home, and thank you for tuning in. If you want to check out our past coverage, please look at our YouTube channel. Like it when you're there. The branding is consistent, The Modern Eater, and our Modern Eater Facebook page, too. Get notifications when we're sending these out, daily updates. All right, let's take a quick break. You're going to hear commercials from sponsors of the Modern Eater Show. Will they continue to be sponsors? Will they continue to have a business after all this? I don't know, but we're going to support them. And so when you hear these messages, you know these are some of the best of the best. Please support your local community. We'll take that break, come right back. The Modern Eater Show, Studio Kitchen, Colorado, iHeartRadio.
Choose your path.
Here's a clip. We got a live read in 2.5 minutes.
Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
When you go to the mechanic in here...
Pass me the torque. Nope, let me have the flamethrower.
That sounds wrong. You know what else sounds wrong? When you hear about the interest you're earning on your savings with the largest banks. But with the Marcus by Goldman Sachs online savings account, you could earn much more interest. And hear this. Open a Marcus by Goldman Sachs online savings account in minutes at Marcus.com. You can money.
Comparison made to the 3 largest U.S. banks measured by total deposits. Rates as of February 4th, 2020 and may vary by state. Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC.
Posting your job opening to an online job search site is like drinking from a fire hose. You get more resumes than you know what to do with. Robert Half is the better way to hire. Our candidates are interviewed and custom matched to your exact hiring requirements. Quickly, satisfaction guaranteed. So what you need is just what you'll get. Robert Half, the experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Learn more at roberthalf.com/radio.
Modern Eater family, it's Little Rich. Everybody needs insurance, but do you have the insurance you need? When we opened Studio Kitchen, Colorado, home of the Modern Eater, we had no idea what insurance we needed. We didn't even know where to begin. Times like that, I turn to the experts. Our insurance expert, Brian Brenning with the Ewing Levitt Agency. Brian makes the coverage discovery process easy and seamless.
1 minute till I read.
Brian and the team at Ewing Levitt. The absolute safest coverage, fair, low rates, quick response time, and honest, straightforward service. I've been in business 40 years. I trust Brian Brenning and Ewing Levitt Agency. He's not just an insurance expert. He's my friend. Make him your friend and expert too by calling the Ewing Levitt Agency today, 970-679-7374. For the best and most reliable insurance coverage, that's 970-679-7374. It's the Ewing Levitt Agency. Hey, chef friends, it's Little Rich here from Raquelita's Tortillas. Raquelita's, known for hyper-local, innovative, and healthy tortillas and chips, served by Colorado's top chefs, and that's why we only use
Live read 20 seconds.
flour oil. If you too want to serve the healthiest, most vibrant tasting foods, you must use Colorado Mills. Colorado Mills is hyper-local, Colorado-grown, cold-pressed in Lamar, Colorado. Whether you
10 seconds.
get your Colorado Mills today.
5 seconds till I read.
Growers Organic and Dawn Foods. For the best oil in the business, use Colorado.
It's hot.
Okay, cool. Day 6 since the orders came down the pipe to shut down food service, Colorado and beyond. And we'll continue back to that conversation. Little Rich Schneider is on hold on the phone. Right now from a very, very empty Studio Kitchen, Colorado, where you would usually see some of the finest cooking going on and chefs in here and breweries and distilleries and other products. No, not right now. It's just not appropriate for that. And businesses that I talk about that don't resemble what they're going to resemble before this, it's time to start thinking about the other side. What's the other side of this going to bring? To get your business lean and mean and running like a fine-tuned machine. And I can tell you, Jeff Rourke from A+ Beverage Solutions, during the downtime now, it might sound really weird to say, but get your tap lines cleaned. Get your tap line cleaned, get them ready to go. People are going to be drinking that delicious craft beer, and I'll tell you what, the brewers would appreciate if the beer tasted like they intended it to taste. So if you need a new install, who knows, you might be acquiring a new business or starting a new business. Jeff Rourke from A+ Beverage Solutions. These are the trusted people. I tell you that it's not businesses doing business with other businesses right now. It's people doing business with other people. That's going to ring true after all of this is over. So family-owned and operated, very well trusted. It's Jeff Rourke, 720-272-3809. If you're pouring inefficient beer, boys,
you're pouring your money down the drain.
Don't pour your money down the drain. Get a hold of him, Jeff Rourke at A+ Beverage Solutions.
Hey, this is Brother Luck from Colorado Springs. All right, you ready? Owner of 4 by Brother Luck and Lucky Dumplings. I mean, he's a very, very impressive man. And you're rocking with the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Okay, back to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio. I promise it's not going to be all somber. We're going to have a couple of laughs. We're drinking a little beer here in studio. You got to grab those laughs or giggles whenever you possibly can. People are just doing what they can to survive right now. Hurry up and wait's the theme of the show. We're going to continue on. I can't wait to talk to this gentleman. I haven't seen him all week long. It's Little Rich Snyder. He's on phone. Probably in the Little Rich massage chair, holding a baggie of his native soil in the basement there at his house. How are you, Little Rich?
I should get in the massage chair. That's right.
Why not? Comfort. It's hard to come by right now. You got to grab it where you can. Richie, it's been a long week. You've kind of just been, riding the ship, I would say, at Raquelita's, making sure everything can go as well as it possibly can. What are you seeing out there right now, Richie?
Well, and you're absolutely correct. I've been at my desk every day in there, and I'm trying to, with my Rolodex, I'm so old I still call it Rolodex, reach out to as many people to check the temperature of the water. And even that, it's an always changing thing. Last week we talked about it a little bit, at least what we're doing in our business at Raquelita's, and this is what's best for us. But certainly as I'm seeing people go in perhaps other directions than what we're doing, hey, all I can say is this is what's working for us, but it's certainly something to think about. I'm trying to use high altitude, long range thinking. And so in that, we're running our business, as I've said several times now, we're running it on facts, not fear. Although those facts are changing, and I certainly anyone has to be cognizant of what is the worst case scenario, but I'm not ready for the entire world to shut down quite yet.
Can we talk about, Richie, you're one of these guys. I look to you as one of those spirit guides of just when I need the calming, calm me down a little bit, Richie. One of the things that I think is very important right now is people are scrambling for market share, right? We all specialize in something, and especially seeing food service get devastated right now in retail. That scramble from food service to retail or going outside of your lane or your expertise, what do you say to that, Rich? What do you recommend to folks?
Well, again, long-term thinking, and that's what we're really trying to do. And you're absolutely correct. I'm seeing people get outside of their lane, and I'm all about stay inside of our lane in these times. And what does that mean? Well, for example, I'm not getting into the home delivery burrito business because I've got, 800 boxes of tortillas. Then I've got to use those up. I'm continuing my business model and staying in my lane. I'm choosing instead to support the sales through our normal channels.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm not opening up. Sure,
Richie, you're in a great location in Rhino, right on Larimer Street. I'm not going to give the exact address out because you just don't want it. But the point being is that you very well could open up the garage doors. You could set out some tables and tortillas and chips and start to get the credit card machine fired up and start to try and sell retail. What would that do to your model right now? How would that disrupt it?
Well, our business model is selling to food service distributors. And my fear is that once this gets done, once this blows over, and it will, I don't want us to be perceived as competitors to our customers and not being committed to them. And in other words, when it got bad, man, you were taking customers from me, Rich, and no more like through all this Ardent Mills. Okay, perfect example. I buy, obviously, Ardent Mills flour. And if Ardent Mills is slow, they decide, wow, we got to move this flour. We're going to start baking bread and making tortillas now. And when this got better, I bet my relationship would look a lot different. And so here's what we're not doing. Like I said, we're staying in our lane, but we're not, how can I put this? We're not going to chase a short-term thing that would damage our brand for the long term. At the back end of this, actually, this is an opportunity for us, for anyone who chooses this. And like I say again, it may not be for everybody, but it's all I'm merely explaining is what we're doing. Is at the back end of this, I want to be able to say, look, I proved my commitment to you by my actions. Even when they were tough to do, I stood by you. And so that's what we're trying to convey. That's the message we want long term for our Raquelita's brand.
Rich, I love where you're going. This is Brian. I wanted to ask on this thought.
I know that, Brian.
I wanted to ask on this thought, we were having a discussion before the show about, do you feel, and this was my feeling, is that we need to figure out a way to make our businesses more defensible. So in a time like this, do we have other avenues? And so, to your point, not changing who we are, what we do. I'm not going to be a restaurant that's going to be a grocery store. But what's your feeling on the restaurant that should every restaurant be thinking about takeout in a different way now than they ever thought before?
Oh, I think so. And boy, did you cue that up for me, Brian. Thank you so much for what I think is going to be another huge opportunity for everybody.
Hey, Richie.
And let me unpack this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say maybe we take a quick break, but then I was thinking, no, you're in a fluid thought there. So why don't you go ahead and continue? I apologize.
Okay. Well, no problem. Well, as we've all seen in the past year, maybe even 2 years, the reality is everybody's been busier than heck. Dining room's full. It gave an opening for these takeouts and delivery services that are charging 20%, 30%, and yet even in that environment, they're still growing in double-digit figures every year. And so this is that time where, okay, I don't have a full dining room. I better get my hands wrapped around this delivery and takeout since this is my only distribution model right now. The old distribution models, we made the product, they got served at the dining room table. Now we have to take it to the front door or maybe to their home. But my feeling is through this, everyone's going to get their hands wrapped around that. What items on their menu could they transport well? Some don't even try it. Don't give your customers an opportunity to pick a bad choice. But through this, I think we're going to get our hands wrapped around that. And at the end, it would perhaps become another revenue stream instead of a revenue suck. I mean, that's kind of a harsh word, but a lot of people are not very happy with many of the delivery services.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing as, market shares are lopsided right now and people are just trying to, struggle for survival. This is nothing that we've ever seen before in a sense of if the economy got poor, is basically because of bad businesses and bad decisions all the way down the line. But right now, there are a lot of great decisions being made and seeing that resiliency of people. It's just that hang on, Richie, and you're doing the same thing. We're going to jump to the next segment with Chris Johnson from Rome Sausage, another guy in food service in the chain there. And I can't wait to hear his story of what he's doing as well, Richie.
He's a great guy. And you're going to hear both sides of different answers for the same question, and everyone has to do what's right for them. I'm really trying to bring up that thing of, hey, think of what this could be perceived as for your brand at the back end of this. Just be mindful of your brand.
Jeffrey Nations, Aspen Baking Company, commented, adapting is very hard. We don't have a hard stop to maneuver from, and that hard stop doesn't look very close. Okay. All right, Richie, we're going to let you go. Keep tuned in there to the Modern Eater Show, and hopefully we will see you this week.
You got it.
Okay, there he is, Little Rich Schneider,
Raquelita's
Tortilla. Let's take that break. Come back. Next is Chris Johnson, Rome Sausage, right here on the Modern Eater Show.
Choose your path through Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Hi, it's Mandy for my friends at Bell and Pollock. I know these guys. They're real. They genuinely care about their clients, and I endorse them because they do business like my dad did. If you've been injured in an accident, call them 303-795-5900.
The unemployment rate is lower than it's been in decades. That means if you're trying to hire a new employee, they probably already have a job, which means you need to try reaching them in a different way. That's where iHeartMedia comes in. Every week, our radio stations reach 93% of the U.S., most likely when they're on their commute or already at work. So start connecting with the qualified candidates you've been looking for on AM/FM radio. Visit iHeartWorks.com. That's iHeartWorks.com.
Hey, it's Greg Hollenback. Any more
90 seconds to live read.
To eat?
And your guy Chris is on the line.
Also want to eat where I know my money is going to a local restaurant that I believe in. I believe in the Goods restaurant on Colfax and Mark Whistler. The Goods is a community restaurant and bar with a menu focusing on vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and keto options. Comfort food lovers, try the best burger on planet Earth. I love it. 8 ounces of grass-fed beef and never, ever any hormones, antibiotics, or steroids. The Goods is truly a cultural melting pot, a family restaurant open to all. Their bar program is amazing. Saddle up at their long, luxurious bar, have a nice craft beer or a cocktail. Like their Facebook page and stay up on amazing events and specials going on throughout the week. Located on East Colfax, directly connected to the Tattered Cover Bookstore, across from East High School with free parking in a garage in back. Look them up online, thegoodsrestaurant.com. I'll see you at the Goods.
Wear black and eat spices. Hey, Modern Eater listeners, this is Zach from The Spice Guy, Colorado.
30 seconds till I read.
Spice is the variety of life. At The Spice Guy, we have a passion for sourcing the best ingredients from the best farmers all over the world. Choose from thousands of different GMO-free spices and ingredients, or let us create and blend custom flavor profiles for whatever style of food it is that you're working with. With over 1,000 restaurants, food brands, and
10 seconds.
And us, you can't go wrong when you choose The Spice Guy for all your spice needs. The Spice Guy.
5 seconds.
Born in Breck, raised in Denver.
TheSpiceGuyCo.com. All right, you guys, back to the show in just a minute, but before we do that, it's time to talk, and it's time to talk about bread. I know we're all going through some terrible times right now, but bread is still wonderful, it's still delicious, and at AspenBaking.com, it doesn't get any better. Whether you're into hoagies, focaccias, ciabattas, baguettes, croissants, bear claws, lobster rolls, pound cakes, coffee cakes, and more, AspenBaking.com is where you go to pick up the most delicious and fresh bread made in the city. But you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find preservatives, artificial coloring, or chemicals. You will find boxed lunches, and if you want to cater, this is a great opportunity when the things are back in action. You know, forgive me, but they're boxed lunches. They're serving with delicious Rome sausage, who you'll hear from in this next segment. So it's the website one more time, and then it's back to the show. It's AspenBaking.com.
Hi, Michael Myers from Distillery 291. I'll say whatever you want me to say. That'll get me in trouble. Write it like you stole it, drink it like you own it. You're listening to The Modern Eater on iHeartRadio.
Okay, welcome to The Modern Eater. It is Saturday night live on iHeartRadio's local affiliate, Denver's talk station 630 KHOW. It is day 6. We're in the Matrix right now. Nothing resembles anything we ever knew before last Monday when service industry basically just shut down. And we're faced with jockeying for position, and the hurry up and wait is a Saturday night. Zach Johnson on the Modern Eater Facebook stream, the Spice Guy, chimes in. I think it's important to find that break-even point of delivery. How many orders does a kitchen need to sell to employ a driver, own a vehicle, pay insurance, etc.? Is that a headache a chef wants, or is the 20 to 30% worth not thinking about all of that? Thank you, Zach. If you have a comment and you want to get it in our ear, and you're watching this from any other Facebook page besides The Modern Eater, jump on over to The Modern Eater Facebook page. Click on this stream tonight. That's where we'll see your comments. And Rebecca Berry joined the stream as well. Rebecca did a great job with us all week long. kind of sitting in for Brian while he had to go work. From 2 to 5 p.m., we're streaming live every single week. So tune in to that. Let's get back to the show right now. 7 o'clock, Sonia Riggs from the Colorado Restaurant Association will join us to talk about the new loosened regulations around liquor and delivery and pickup from restaurants. That'll be cool. And then at 6:45, Dr. Sara Metz will join us. Right now, it's Chris Johnson and Rome Sausage. Chris, I'm wearing your T-shirt, man. Support local. What's happening with you?
Looking good, buddy. Looking good. What's up, Brian?
Hey, buddy. Hey, Chris. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. And what a week, huh?
What a week. What a week. Are you guys in production?
We are in production. I will say it's not our typical production, with a large percentage of our business being in food service. We're not seeing what we used to, and that's okay. We expected that based on what's been going on in the world. So, I'll say this to start. This is going to pass, and it's going to pass sooner than we think. And the question is, how do we get through it? And I think you guys are doing a great job of putting together resources and people and ideas to try and keep some folks afloat and get them thinking differently about their businesses and their livelihoods. And I appreciate what you guys have been doing all week to put a voice to this and to allow folks the venue and the opportunity to voice frustrations or to work or anything they do just to get through this process. So it's these are interesting days, man.
Comment on the live stream, Blake Butler. Hey, Chris, I was just talking to Keith, and Woodhill Barbecue is looking for some Romes in the coming days. Please, that's the type of stuff we need right now, right, Chris?
That's it, man. I met Keith at Home Depot randomly, and that's where that kind of got generated. But yeah, it's we're all kind of forced to be flexible and creative in this scenario. And I love what Rich had to say about being able to kind of sustain the brand through these tough times, to be able to answer to his distributors and to his retail folks after that, and that's the blessing that Rich has. And he's in a great spot, and I think for a lot of folks, including us, we're in a spot where we want to continue to pay our folks, if that means not paying myself, which I've committed to do in the interim period until we get a handle on the situation. But it's forced a lot of folks to think creatively and to be flexible and to think about how to best meet the needs of people out there and to enter new markets and generate income until this thing settles out. And I firmly believe that the takeout scenario long term is still viable, obviously, but I think there's a tremendous value in those dining rooms and getting in there and being taken care of, and the experience of eating out. The folks they'll be back, and they'll spend money and they'll buy bottles of wine and all those things, and they want the experience of eating out, and they want the to be taken care of and all those things. So it's just killing time and making a living and taking care of folks until we can get to that point.
Yeah, hurry up and wait. It's been the theme for today. Hurry up and wait. Interesting conversation. The takeout and delivery for restaurants right now being kind of under the microscope of survival for restaurants as we look down the chain of food service. Doesn't the conversation transcend to, okay, well, if your pants were down, restaurants, because of this, you didn't have, you're not the Brothers Barbecue of the world, let's say, to where they're actually do a great job doing that. Is this something that you need to reflect on going forward to diversify Rome Sausage into the retail space? Or do you just say, hang on, let's not rethink our whole business plan, just like restaurants shouldn't rethink their whole business plan? But where do you approach that? Because I think that there's some crossover.
Well, I think this whole situation is a catalyst for rethinking business plans, whether you're an operator or a manufacturer or a delivery service or anybody in between. We're looking for some retail representation or retail opportunities. So, in an effort to, obviously move products and keep the lights on and to keep folks paid, but also to balance out this kind of situation where you don't have all your eggs in one basket. We do have some retail product in stores, and so that's been a help. But that balance is going to be important for everybody, whether that's us or a restaurant or a pizza place or a deli or anybody in between. So it's about being I think flexible at this stage in the game, and about thinking creatively about solutions to keep the lights on, keep folks paid, and to keep keep your brand strong.
I agree, and not compromising yourself. You know, a while back you said I used to sell my sausage on the street, but you meant something totally different than that, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of buyers for that, but more quality over quantity.
Hey, Chris, it's Jay here. Real quick, man. When you're selling that, man, you just need one buyer.
That's right. One consistent buyer.
You just need one, and you're in business. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Chris, I got
a prospect, and you got to be closing.
Chris, have you found any opportunity through this? Because there have been. I've spoken to some manufacturers that there are some silver linings out there. Have you found any in this?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a retail presence right now, especially in the protein world, I think you're going as hard as you can, as fast as you can, as far as production goes. Shelves are somewhat empty still. That buying kind of impetus is still out there. So, in terms of the protein world, those guys are still having great years. I mean, I know some meat wholesalers and distributors having a hard time keeping those shelves stocked. So, much in the way you're seeing smaller cabbages, you're going to see that kind of same effect, those meat cases. But yeah, I mean, it's time for introspection, and then, let's put our heads down, grind this thing out, and then, let's look up in a few weeks, 30 days, and wear our survivor T-shirts, man. Hey, we got past this, which is the crazy thing, right? There's nobody you can call them like, hey, when the plague happened, what'd you do for work? How'd you make ends meet? Because there's nobody around, from 100 or 200 years ago. So that's the hard part, right? Nobody has a mentor they can go to right now and say, hey, what should we do in these circumstances? How can we carry this thing forward? How do I maintain, my brand and integrity and all those things while we deal with, all this craziness?
Speak for yourself, man. I see Little Rich Snyder. He knows everything. He knows it all.
I'll tell you, man, he's like a little Yoda. Tell you what.
He has a little Yoda. Chris, thanks for your time.
Dapper little Yoda.
We'll get you all week long, man, if you'll have us, and, support local. I'm going to wear this shirt all week long, man. I'm not going to shower either.
Oh, lovely.
We have more shirts. I can get you.
I'll wash my hands, though.
Please do.
Okay. There he is, Chris Johnson. Thank you, Chris Johnson. Okay, we need to break real quick because I want to spend as much time with this gal as possible. We may even, no, we won't. We'll be back in a flash. Coming up next, Dr. Sara Metz, Code 4 Counseling on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path through Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Are you looking for senior care for your mom or dad but don't know where to start? Hi, I'm Joan London with The Place for Mom. Nobody knows your parent or loved one better than you, and nobody knows senior living better than the experts at A Place for Mom. They've helped thousands of families find the right place for their mom or dad.
I was so glad that I called A Place for Mom. My advisor really listened and was truly my partner in finding senior care for my dad. She went out of her way to get to know him as a person and was always there whenever I had a question.
The senior living advisors at A Place for Mom partner with thousands of families every month, listening and offering local knowledge and advice to help find the best senior living communities across the country. And it's a free service. Here's the number.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-0286.
There's a place for answers, a place for mom. Call today.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-0286. That's 1-800-469-0286.
All right, Sarah's ready to go.
With the best. Little Rich here from Raquelita is and the Modern Eater. Our wraps fold cold and don't break open, yet they're soft and delicious. What's my secret? Ardent Mills. Organic, ancient, and heirloom grains like quinoa, spelt, and more. Locally headquartered in Denver, Colorado, Ardent Mills provides the industry's broadest range of traditional and organic flours, whole grains, customized blends, and specialty products dedicated to providing the culinary industry with the next grains and unique plant-based ingredients. I love Ardent Mills, and I know you will too. To bake the best, you must use the best. Learn more at ardentmills.com.
Taxes, payroll, and workman's comp? Ugh! If you're a business owner, I bet hearing me say those dirty words made you cringe. Hi, I'm Rebecca Berry with Forth, and I know growing and managing a business can seem overwhelming and just daunting at times. But at Forth, we've got got you covered. Fourth knows you want to take your business to the next level. Fourth was designed to be the partner you need and will allow you to free up your time and resources to do what you do best, grow and manage your business. Call me. Let's talk about how I can help. 720-436-8047. That's 720-436-8047. Rebecca with Fourth.
Listen up, barbecue lovers. Greg Hollenback here for Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. Proud Souls is Denver's authority of all things barbecue. Do you rule your neighborhood with the best backyard barbecue? From beginners to pit masters, Proud Souls has all the equipment you could possibly want. A variety of wood, pellet, and charcoal grills and smokers. Award-winning pit masters and owners of Proud Souls, Dan and Tony, have a passion for barbecue, and it shows. Located on 25th and Federal, Proud Souls retail store is bursting at the seams with your barbecuing essentials, the Spice Guy spices, and superior flavored fuels for your pit like hickory, mesquite, oak, pecan, cherry, apple, peach, maple, grape, and a variety of blends. Hit their website, ProudSoulsBBQ.com, for delicious hands-on barbecue classes and get information on current promotions and deals. For the best in barbecue, locally owned and operated on 25th and Federal, there are guys. Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. That's ProudSoulsBBQ.com.
Whose cuisine reigns supreme?
You're listening to The Modern Eater Show,
The ultimate gourmet challenge.
and it's time for In the Kitchen.
Okay, welcome back to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio. It is a Saturday. It's March 21st, day 6 in the Matrix right now as we try and jockey for some sort of normal life and just the uncertainty of when that will happen. Usually right here during Saturday nights, the Modern Eater Show, this kitchen is full. It's got great culinary people. Chefs are cooking, and the vibes are real cool. Breweries, distilleries, products, just lively and jumping. And we can't wait to get back to that. But right now, this is the topic, trying to be that beacon of light for you. So when we're usually cooking up in the kitchen, in the kitchen segment, tonight we're cooking up some mental health. And she's our gal. Dr. Sara Metz joins us on the Modern Eater Show. How are you, Doctor?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. We spent the week with you, kind of.
Well, and you called me a spirit guide earlier, and I was listening to the show. My husband promptly fell to the floor laughing, and he's still laughing. So you made his day with that description. I think it's completely accurate, but he found that very funny.
Oh, my goodness. I'd actually like to talk to your husband sometime to get the insight on why that is so funny. Today's theme, Doctor, this is where we defer to you, either lighten the mood or give us a tidbit of, inspiration or just reality, a dose of reality of what we're feeling. Today's theme is hurry up and wait. And I kind of likened what we're seeing right now for food service people, restaurant chefs, restaurateurs, the whole chain in food service as, again, I'm going to date myself, Doctor, as Linus lining up to kick that football. And Sally would pull that ball out from underneath his foot and he'd land on his ass. I think a lot of people feel that way right now. What do you do when you're just in a holding pattern? You're waiting, and you're anxious, and there's just, there's no answers that are going to come anytime soon.
There aren't, but I think you guys have answered your own question with some of the last segments you guys have been doing, where you're talking so much about how it's so important to have a very solid business plan and a business model that you have put so much language and time and effort into developing. And that business model really helps you to be successful. And now for so many people in the industry, that model for a lot is having to be kind of redesigned and redeveloped to make you successful in a time of chaos. So really my advice to everybody out there is use those same skills that you've developed as you've created those business models, and now do some of that self-work to say, what is your personal mission? What is your personal model for success? Really sit down, pen to paper, put some language to that, and figure out how to flex that even in this time of chaos as well. We all need to have a really solid identification with what is our model, what are we doing in life? And that is outside of the business, but it's really trying to figure out what that looks like and be able to adapt and be flexible. I've heard so many people on your show this evening talk about how important it is to be flexible and how people are coming up with such creative ways of keeping their businesses afloat. So again, it's the same skill in figure out how to keep yourself afloat and recharged during all of this too.
Yeah, whether it be business or marriage, relationships, maybe rehab or an injury, coming back, or the daunting thought of starting from the beginning. Where do you begin with that, though?
Right. Again, it's really, you're exactly right in that there are different pieces to that. And so really what I would say is, again, pen to paper, really having people look at 4 different categories. What are they doing physically to take care of themselves? Or what have they done in the past that worked for them? What are they doing mentally to take care of themselves? Or, again, what are things they've done in the past? Maybe they've gotten away from it, but some skills that have worked in the past, whether that's meditation, mindfulness, journaling. In the physical category, whether that's hopefully getting outside, going for a walk, getting, some weight training in, something that they can do from home now. So physically is one category, mentally. The other 2 categories are what are you doing spiritually to take care of yourself, and what are you doing socially to take care of yourself. So really looking at those 4 categories and making sure that you can identify and put language to what are some things that you're doing in each of those 4 categories right now to try to take care of yourself. And the same way that people might say, well, I can't do any of the things I've normally done. Well, your business can't do the things you've always done before either. And so this is a time to be really flexible and to say it's time to really adapt and look at what are some
2 minutes
creative things that you can put into each of those categories to still make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
With 2 minutes left, I always hog you. I'm sorry that I'm doing that. But Brian, Jay, do you have anything for the doctor?
Well, Doctor, this is Brian Freeman. I just think it's interesting because it's all about balance, and that's what I'm hearing.
Absolutely,
come through.
It's always about balance. Yeah.
Yeah, and whether right now how much more important it is to create that balance. But back when things get normal, remember that you have to have that balance if you're going to be successful. To look at your business, it's in its entirety.
I'd just like to say to the doctor that I didn't start drinking. That was just a bad joke I made. That's all.
I just had
thank you for being
Thank
you for being concerned for my well-being. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Jay. Anytime.
How about forgiveness for yourself, Doc? And the last question for you, and then we'll rejoin you hopefully on Monday. Forgiveness for yourself. You're going to probably make some missteps.
1 minute.
Of course you are.
What do you do in 30 seconds with those missteps and forgiving yourself?
A lot of that comes down to self-talk and identifying it as a misstep and not judging yourself so incredibly harshly. Human beings are really good at beating themselves up, especially folks who are really high-functioning. And so it's important right now to set some realistic expectations for yourself and know that you are going to have some bumps and bruises along the way. And to forgive yourself for that.
30 seconds.
That you're doing the best you can under unusual circumstances.
It looks like Nick has joined in. I think you might know who that
is. Uh-oh.
Spoken Fun, our spirit guide. You're going to continue to join us, aren't you, Doctor?
Absolutely. Anytime, guys.
Thank you. We'll talk more about Code 4 counseling as the days go on. Please look her up. Google her. She's amazing. Up next, Sonia Riggs, Colorado Restaurant Association, right here on the Modern Eater Show.
Listen. Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, I'm Ink Mac, selling author Brett Kitchen. And if you're over 55 with an IRA or 401k, I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After losing 35% in my IRA and the crash years ago, I said enough. And since then, I discovered a way to grow money potential double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free book and talk to a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose in the market crashes. Call 800-493-1717 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. Plus, when you call right now, you get free shipping and handling, no credit card required. And I'll send you a free copy of the audiobook so you can listen in your car. Call 800-493-1717. 800-493-1717. That's 1-800-493-1717.
This is Denver's talk station with Ross Kaminsky in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Hospitals across the U.S. are facing supply shortages due to a spike in coronavirus cases. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi.
The vice president is asking companies to go into their storerooms and donate any N95 masks to their local hospitals. And we know that several medical television shows, including ABC's Grey's Anatomy, are doing just that.
U.S. health officials predicting the U.S. is still several weeks away from the peak of the virus, and some hospitals say they are running out of space. The Army Corps of Engineers will convert large buildings into hospitals in New York. U.S. officials looking into what's happening in Italy and Spain, Italy especially being about 2 weeks ahead of America in the severity of COVID-19. Italy today recording its biggest one-day coronavirus death total, nearly 800. More than 4,800 Italians have died. Word this hour that Congressman Mark DeSaulnier, California Democrat, who's battled leukemia since 2015, is in critical condition after he suffered a fall a week ago and developed pneumonia. His office said he tested negative for COVID-19. This is ABC News. Across the U.S., nearly 300 deaths among over 23,000 COVID-19 cases, over 300,000 cases worldwide. A big surge in deaths in Italy, its biggest one-day total, nearly 800 deaths. Spain also seeing its highest daily jump in deaths, now totaling over 1,300 overall. In California and Nevada, police departments are beginning to use special units to conduct compliance checks to make sure businesses like hair salons, restaurants, and stores are complying with the stay-at-home orders. On aid to Americans suddenly out of work.
The president outlining what could be up to $2 trillion in federal aid, providing instant help to companies and workers. His advice to employees:
what they do right now is keep receiving their paycheck, and hopefully their companies are going to be in a very strong position. We want to keep everything together.
But millions no longer getting paid. Congress rushing to send them checks that may only cover a fraction of even 1 month's expenses. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
Chuck Severson, ABC News.
At Indeed, we understand that when it comes to hiring, it's important to have a large talent pool to choose from. But sometimes too many good options can be overwhelming. That's why Indeed doesn't just give you access to a large pool of job seekers. We also offer screener tools that let you instantly narrow down your search. Hone in on hiring with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like that much-needed 125-inch flat-screen TV.
It's hurting my eyes a lot.
For your 100-square-foot bedroom.
My neck isn't so much stiff as it's completely stuck.
With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Uh-oh, I'm seeing color splotches.
Liberty, 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 Liberty. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
Now, impact traffic.
No problems on I-70 between Aurora and Arvada. That is a nice drive. In fact, it is up to full speed. If you're on I-225, that's up to full speed as well. Looking at about a 9-minute drive now, either direction of I-225 between I-70 and I-25. No problem spots on I-25 at this point. That is a nice drive as well. Traffic is up to full speed with no accidents to get in your way. Denver weather tonight, mostly cloudy, a low dropping to around 27 with a slight chance of precipitation. Sunday, partly sunny and a high near 55. Currently, it's 41. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 K-How.
This report is sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Invisible Fence brand's team of experts have helped over 3 million pets learn their boundaries. Let your four-legged family members enjoy their yard. Visit InvisibleFence.com to schedule your free consultation and get 50% off your installation. InvisibleFence.com. That's InvisibleFence.com.
Are you outgrowing your starter home or ready for a new neighborhood? Your timing couldn't be more perfect. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky for American Financing, where I just got my own mortgage. And even if you bought a home 2 or 3 years ago, you likely have a ton of equity in it. And maybe it's time to take that equity out and put it toward a down payment on your next home, your forever home perhaps. Interest rates are at or near the lowest they've ever been, and this makes new home loans incredibly affordable, especially when you choose American Financing as your lender. You'll get a custom loan that's designed around your needs, and there are never any upfront or hidden fees to pay and never any obligation of any kind. So call one of their mortgage consultants today. It only takes 10 minutes to start the pre-qualification process. They're even open nights and weekends for your convenience. 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000. Or learn more online or even begin the mortgage process itself at AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, regulated by the Division.
Yeah, I'm calling her. Right. I called her. I'm calling her cell phone, and she's ready to go.
Hi, I'm Jen London with The Place for Mom. Nobody knows your parent or loved one better than you, and nobody knows senior living better than the experts at A Place for Mom. They've helped thousands of families find the right place for their mom or dad.
I was so glad that
All right, Sonia's ready to go now.
advisor really listened and was truly my partner in finding senior care for my dad. She went out of her way to get to know him as a person and was always there whenever I had a question.
The senior living advisors at A Place for Mom partner with thousands of families every month, listening and offering local knowledge and advice to help find the best senior living communities across the country. And it's a free service. Here's the number.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-0286.
There's a place for answers, a place for mom. Call today.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-0286. That's 1-800-469-0286.
Beginning Monday night at 6, we'll bring you an hour-long ABC News special. COVID-19, what you need to know, the latest health and safety info, and solutions for our new way of life. Weeknights at 6 on 630 KHOW.
The following is a paid advertisement. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of KHOW, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
How about a bite to eat? It's time for the second course, hour number 2 of The Modern Eater.
What are you hungry for?
Here's to a meal we're all here for.
Delicious and tasty.
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
With your hosts, Greg Hollenback, Jay Parker, and Brian Freeman.
Don, bring that down, baby. Work that board, dude.
It's hot in there tonight. It's hot at the studio.
We're in the Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Greg Hollenback, Brian Freeman, Jay Parker, Little Rich Schneider at home in the Little Rich massage chair because Real Massage shut down as well.
Did it?
Yeah. So hair
Really?
salons shut down. Anything that's pretty much close contact.
It's confusing. I will tell you, I think if you're a business owner right now, you are confused because I think that the rules are a little fuzzy. I saw a restaurant with somebody coming in the other day, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? I thought you were closed.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, well, we're doing takeout, but I saw a
door.
couple people eating a sandwich at the, you're like, oh, interesting.
Right now, everybody's just trying to get that footing and figure out what is and what isn't. And a little housekeeping. I knew this. It was Charlie Brown and Lucy. Charlie Brown got
You were
the
just
football.
testing the listeners, seeing if anyone was really out there.
And somebody caught it, so thank you for
well,
doing
the one person that was listening to us reached out and said, you guys, come on.
It. Well, we have two because on the line right now, her name is Sonia Riggs. She's joined us all week long. Actually, last Saturday night, she was here in the kitchen with us. She's CEO and president of the Colorado Restaurant Association. She's been kind of riding the ship and navigating us through these uncharted waters right now as we learn that alcohol to go and delivery rules are announced. Welcome back to the show, Sonia. Here it is Saturday.
Thank you, Greg.
I know.
Hi.
Lots going on from this last week, but let's
my goodness, changing every day significantly.
Do you mind if we cover this new thing and then we'll move on and maybe do a little recap?
Absolutely.
So alcohol to go and delivery now allowed. What does that all mean to us?
So we're waiting for, we've been on the phone with some folks today. We're waiting for liquor enforcement, state liquor enforcement to give us the final rules. But what we now hear is folks with basically the retail off-premise or on-premise licenses, can allow for delivery and takeout of alcohol. So basically restaurants, bars, brew pubs, those kind of licenses can now allow for takeout and delivery of alcohol. The original order basically said that if you're doing delivery, the person that's delivering it must be an employee of the company. We are trying to negotiate on that because we know so many people are using these third-party delivery companies, but as of now, the rule is saying that it needs to be an employee of the company. They've not yet given us guidelines on how much alcohol you can sell to go. We've basically said, listen, there's no limit in a liquor store. Our thoughts are there shouldn't be a limit, like frankly other states are doing. They're not actually adding any kind of a limit to how much you can sell. Obviously, there are container laws. So when you're doing mixed drinks, so right now, our understanding is they're allowing beer, wine, and spirits, including mixed drinks. So if someone wants to say, "I want to order 2 Cosmopolitans, go," you can put it in a plastic cup with a lid, sealed, and get it to go. Again, this is all happening so fast that we know that things are changing minute by minute. So we're waiting for liquor enforcement to come up with those final guidelines, but. We're not hearing that there's a limit. We're hearing that you just need to be as careful as possible as far as the sealing those containers. And you need to be obviously 21 to purchase alcohol. That part has not changed.
Sonia, good evening. Brian Freeman.
Hey, Brian.
Hi. I wanted to ask about some clarification on this, because wasn't it always okay in Colorado? If I ordered pizza and they sold beer, they could bring a 6-pack with my pizza. Now, was that always the case, or is that not the case in Colorado?
That was not the case. What was allowed was cork and go for wine. So, meaning if you had a glass of wine at a restaurant and you didn't finish the bottle, you could have them reseal it and take it to go. One bottle. So that was what was originally allowed. Now. Breweries, which are different than brew pubs, so brew pubs are a retail license, breweries are a manufacturing license, allowed you to take the growlers and other things like that away. That's different than the retail license that has different restrictions. So no, the buying a pizza and a pack of beer, as far as I know, was not allowed.
Interesting. I've had it happen, but I think it's probably just confusing for the small business owner.
But
do they know that?
You could do a poker game in the back room too, Brian. So.
Well, maybe that's true.
Sonia, packaging.
Okay,
right?
I'm not listening to this.
Sonia,
we follow the law.
That's right. The packaging, Sonia. I'm sure there's going to be a run on packaging. Are there any approved packaging, or is it just every person for themselves, whatever they can find, or where do you go?
Great question.
Yeah, where do you go?
We sent out an email last night to our members with some partners that we know will likely and can provide the kind of packaging you need, like Bar Green Ellingson, Tundra Restaurant Supply, Cisco, Shamrock. So we know that they've got options for folks, and we'll continue to update you as we know the specific details from liquor enforcement. As we know right now, the governor's office and I've been in close contact with the city of Denver as well, and I suspect and I hope that the other cities are going to follow what the governor's office is saying, is that they're trying to be as liberal as possible as far as how this works. And when we're seeing what's happening in other states, it's basically, a cup with a lid. Some folks are saying you need to tape it, that kind of thing. So we'll be looking at what that means as far as sealed. I know that law enforcement's got some concerns about this because we've got, you can't have an open container while you're driving down the street. And we certainly want to make sure that everybody's being safe and someone's not consuming your alcohol while they're delivering it. So, there's going to be some ways that they want to have it sealed. But what I'm hearing so far is that in this crisis and this unusual time, people are trying to be as liberal as possible with the definition.
On the phone with us, Sonia Riggs, Colorado Restaurant Association, as we continue from Studio Kitchen, Colorado, live on this 21st of March. It's a Saturday. Sonia, we're going to learn more as we go on with this, but right now, is it green-lighted to where this is done today, or is there a start point?
No, you can do it immediately.
Okay.
As more specific rules come out, we'll be getting that out to the entire restaurant community as quickly as possible. They're just, everything's happening so fast right now that everyone's just, I think, trying to scramble on the local, state, and national level to try to get clarification out as quickly as they can. So we'll communicate that as soon as we have it.
Thank you so much. Okay. I always have my ear to the ground, Sonia. I'm an inquisitive kid. I like to ask questions. Word on the street is the health department's really making rounds right now for restaurants. Do you know much about that?
Denver or state?
Denver,
because, we've got close relationships with both. Okay. I have not heard that. I can certainly look into it. I will. One of the things I was going to talk about is that restaurants. There's some guidance from the state as far as restaurants offering more options than they have been allowed to in the past. So we can talk about that when you're ready.
I'm ready.
No, I have. Okay. So I just saw some general guidance today that restaurants will start being, I believe, to allow for selling of bulk food. So, we're seeing in other cities, people are saying, instead of buying, one piece of lasagna, can I do a tray of lasagna? But we're even seeing potential considerations on household goods like toilet paper and paper towels and general cleaning supplies.
Love it.
What we saw from the Department of Homeland Security is restaurants are considered an essential business, and we're looking for specific rulings from that on the state side as well, because we believe, as we've all seen in the last week, you go to the grocery store, there's nothing there. There's half of the shelves are empty. And restaurants, I think, are really going to be partners in stepping up to make sure that people are getting the food and supplies that they need in this challenging time.
That is awesome. When you told me that is an essential part of just operating, that is one of the coolest things. And also, do you think there's an ability to maybe, it's like I want to get a case of chicken or some ground beef I know is hard to come by right now? What about those things, buying in bulk from a restaurant?
Yeah, at this point, it looks like that's going to start being allowed. I got this information from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. So we'll be issuing. Actually, we're working on an email right now with their help on specific guidance on that. But yeah, that's the hope, is that, and that's the plan, is that restaurants will be able to start allowing sale of all of this, many items of food that they're not typically selling.
Gotcha. Okay, I know it's a small body of work with only a week, but any data points that stand out right now as we see food service trying to even out the playing field to catch that positioning of what's working and what's not working out there as far as revenue streams?
Well, I guess I'm hearing upwards of 90% loss in revenue from restaurants. Obviously, that's devastating. Restaurants are cornerstones of our communities, as we all know. But prior to this crisis, so many major family and business events happened in restaurants. So obviously this is a tough time for them. We're waiting every day to hear what's going to happen with the government stimulus package on the federal level. I'm hearing now, I thought it was going to happen middle of next week. I'm hearing now maybe within the next 48 hours. So we'll be watching that closely. Try to help get people back on their feet and employees as part of all these small businesses. But it's tough. I guess I would say we are working closely with our partners to try to get information out on where people can go out to eat. So I would say if you've got a local restaurant that you already is your favorite, or you order from or used to go dine out at, please consider doing takeout or ordering to go from them. Or delivery. Mm-hmm. Any small thing, especially now that you can order alcohol, is going to make a really big difference with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know your time is limited for this evening, and we'll catch up with you Monday, but what can we anticipate may come down the pipe as of early next week?
Well, I think the biggest thing is this government stimulus package that we're going to see on the federal level. I will say we've also been getting information on what some of the cities are doing for stimulus and what the state is doing to try to help however they can. So, again, I would encourage people to go to corestaurant.org, www.corestaurant.org. We are, as soon as we know updated information, we're posting it on our website, which is daily, sometimes multiple times a day. We're also sending out emails to folks, whether they're members or non-members, anybody in the restaurant community that wants to get updates, because it's just changing so rapidly. And I will tell you, just in talking daily to local, state, and federal officials, it's happening so quickly that it's just hard to keep up for anybody. So the best place to go is either to our website or get our email or text updates, and we'll continue to give you new information as it comes our way.
It is absolutely the best place. It's corestaurant.org. Great, valuable information. I encourage you, Sonia, get some rest, please, because we need your immune system healthy.
Greg.
I mean, I'll tell you what,
Appreciate that.
you and your team are working day and night. The information that you're sending out, and again, I see an email come through at 11:30, and I go, geez, this team, man, talk about it. They're really earning their money right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thanks for everything you're doing to get information out to the public. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. See you Monday.
Sounds good.
Sonia
All right,
Riggs,
bye.
Colorado Restaurant Association. Wow, a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Just day to day, hour to hour.
Well, and there's so much unknown. There's just so much unknown, and it just keeps
today's
changing.
truth is different than tomorrow's truth, and yesterday's truth is not today's.
Well, and then, one of the things that we said before this whole thing started was, how do we make sure we're getting facts? And she, Colorado Restaurant Association and Sonia Riggs, thank you for giving us the facts. Because,
and remember, they're not making laws.
Yeah.
They're not, this isn't,
they just try to communicate it.
Communicate, and it's probably frustrating a lot of things for them as they're seeing that, Denver, here we are, we're hemorrhaging and trying to put Band-Aids on things that's just, it's the bloodletting that we saw this week. Mark Whistler, do you know what time we start around here, young man?
Came to the studio.
6 o'clock. So, we've got about 40 minutes left in the show, a full schedule till the top of the hour, but I'm going to do a special provision. We're going to extend the Modern Eater show probably about 15, 20 minutes after the top of the hour. So you're going to get a special 20-minute Mark Whistler segment come 8 o'clock. So look forward to that. I got to extend it for you, my man.
You got to jump live on Facebook.
You've been just doing so many great things this week. 5280 did a feature on Mark Whistler as well. I think it's fantastic. He's the hardest working man in show business. He's the two and only, the Mr. Zoom Zoom, Mr. Boom Boom. Mark Whistler, man, he's here with us. I love this guy. Thank you, Sonia, for those updates. Guess what? It's not good to do. Release a book. Man, terrible. Yeah, Johnathan Shikes, he's on hold. Here's our promise to Johnathan. We're going to talk to him about this, the way the breweries are. Let him mention the book. I think people need some good reading right now.
Yes.
What do you think?
You have time on your hands right now.
You have a couple hours on your hand. But if you're going to order anything through Amazon, it should be Johnathan Shikes' book. Why do you keep looking at my headset? Is something wrong?
No, you're okay, man.
Jeez, it's like so distracting, so awkward. Great show here. Also, Jagged Mountain here with us. I love that brewery.
I'm having a great time with them. What a great conversation we've been able to have in between the breaks and before the show. It's been nice.
And Jay's going break. Okay, we'll break. Johnathan Shikes, we're going to talk beer and then booze because, listen, a lot of us need a little bit of the
booch.
A little bit of something right now. That's why they're opening up the floodgates for restaurants. Okay, Jay. Okay. We'll be right back.
Choose your path through sight.
Clear. We got a live read
on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Are you looking for senior care for your mom or dad but don't know where to start? Hi, I'm Joan London with The Place for Mom. Nobody knows your parent or loved one better than you, and nobody knows senior living better than the experts at A Place for Mom. They've helped thousands of families find the right place for their mom or dad.
I was so glad that I called A Place for Mom. My advisor really listened and was truly my partner in finding senior care for my dad. She went out of her way to get to know him as a person and was always there whenever I had a question.
The senior living advisors at A Place for Mom partner with thousands of families every month, listening and offering local knowledge and advice to help find the best senior living communities across the country. And it's a free service. Here's the number.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-0286.
There's a place for answers, a place for mom. Call.
Jonathan's ready to go. And we got a live read in
1-800-469-0286.
90 seconds.
Hey, it's Greg Hollenback for Gluten-Free Things. Are you intolerant or sensitive to gluten? Or maybe you're a gluten-free lifestyler? Is your menu limited because you've eliminated gluten from your diet? Are you missing the taste of foods that traditionally contain gluten? What if I told you that you can add breads, pizzas, muffins, cakes, cookies, waffles, croissants, English muffins, the list goes on, right back to your menu? Gluten-Free Things is a local gluten-free and vegan bakery that reintroduces you to the foods you love. Owner John Irvin believes gluten-free shouldn't taste like the box that it's packaged in. Trust me when I tell you, the products from his bakery in Arvada are fresh, flavorful, and masterly crafted, leaving you with a product that tastes like the real thing. Simply delicious. The bakery is located in Arvada on 640
seconds till I read.
The street from Arvada West High School. Check out their website at glutenfreethings.com. You'll be amazed with the variety of gluten-free products they make. And chefs, don't leave your gluten-free restaurant.
15 till I read.
John at info@glutenfreethings.com. That's info@glutenfreethings.com to see what he can do for you. Give him a shot.
5 seconds till I read.
51 West 64th Avenue in Arvada. It's Gluten-Free Things.
Okay, more and more, and we'll get back to Studio Kitchen in just a minute, but more and more as businesses are emerging right now, we want to give this voice to a company that may be of value to you right now. Streaming your businesses online, virtual meetings, churches I know are trying to get to their congregation, educational institutions, Event Streaming Solution. Event Streaming Solution. The Modern Eater Show is powered by Event Streaming Solution. Have you recently been faced with canceling a speaking engagement or an educational class? You don't have to. Now is the perfect time to stream your content online. The experts at Event Streaming Solution are standing by to answer your questions and find the right solution to disseminating your message. They can help with educational institutions, churches, virtual meetings, business seminars, and anyone who has a message that they want to broadcast to their membership or group or congregation. The trained experts excel in live streaming with multiple cameras and professional audio and video capabilities. ESS strives to bring you customized content creation at a very competitive price. Don't risk losing your voice and contact Event Streaming Solution. It's Event Streaming Solution, no S at the end, today for a quote. All you have to do is email them, eventstreamingsolution@gmail.com.
Yo, what's up? This is Justin Brunson, Ultra Meat and Cheese in Denver Central Market. I'm a meat guy. And you're listening to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Welcome back to the Modern Eater Show as we continue right here on a Saturday, March 21st, just kind of doing the hurry up and wait. You know, wait. Everybody wants time to go by quickly to just get back to normal. Joining us on the line right now, he's a friend of ours. I actually grew up in the same neighborhood as Johnathan Shikes. I grew up on 6th and Jackson. I think he was on like 5th and Monroe.
You're just way older than him.
Just way, exactly right. Online, and welcome back, Johnathan Shikes. Welcome back to the Modern Eater Show.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, dude, you released a book, and I'm sorry you did right now, but we'd love to mention it, and I think if people know about it, now's probably the best time to sit down and get some good reading, Johnathan. Take a minute to talk about the book before we begin.
Sure, yeah. It's called Denver Beer, and it's a history of beer and brewing in the Mile High City from 1859 through 2019, and I spent about 2 years working on it. It came out March 2nd, and yeah, I was supposed to have a number of events, but like everyone else, I got shut down. But hopefully, people can order it at Tattered Cover and Book Bar, both of their online sites, and Amazon, and get some reading, get in some reading while they're locked away in their homes.
I think that's a fine idea. Any thoughts on the horizon of an e-version of it?
I think there's Kindle versions of it, but yeah, I haven't seen anything beyond that.
Okay, far out. Did Jagged Mountain make it into the book?
I don't know that Jagged Mountain made it in. There were, it wasn't, necessarily like a competition between, breweries. It was, what I focused on was different milestones in brewing history, going all the way back and then into more recently. And, everything from the first folks to can and that whole thing, the very first tap room, only tap rooms, the breweries from the 90s. So there was a lot of, I tried to focus on a lot of different milestones, things that really, really changed things and made everybody kind of sit up and take notice of what was going on.
I got a question.
I got to guess the first company to can. I got to guess.
Oh, I know who to can. I thought are you talking craft beer or just any beer?
Beer, right? And just in Colorado beer.
Yeah, well, Colorado craft beer, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
Okay, well, I'm going with this because we were down in Pueblo. We were in Pueblo, and there's what's that beer company in Pueblo, Jonathan?
Walters.
Walters. That's my guess.
Yeah, well, so Walters. So what I actually did was I think Coors was actually the first to can in Colorado. Yeah, but Walters is cool. They did kind of what Tivoli did. The new folks bought up the old trademarks and the old recipes, and are trying to make beers that were similar to those pre-Prohibition beers that were being brewed in the 1880s and the early 1900s.
Well, wait, though. I've got a question, Jonathan. Wasn't it? There was a great beer that came out in a can, and I thought it was one of the first craft breweries to start putting it in a can. And they're up not in Fort Collins, I don't think all the way. It's
Oscar Blues.
Yes, thank you, Oscar Blues. Wasn't it that?
What's the beer that I'm thinking of? I can't remember the name to the beer that I think I'm so smart for knowing the first craft beer in a can. Jonathan, wasn't it Oscar Blues though for the first craft beer?
The first craft beer was Oscar Blues. It was Dale's Pale Ale.
Thank you. Yeah,
I keep wanting to say Mama's Little Yellow Pills, but that's a yellow can, and I see the can. I just can't I just can't say the name.
See, Jane,
I'm going to say Dale's Pale Ale.
You are correct.
Have you met Alyssa Thorpe and Brandon?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Are they there?
They are here. That's why I asked.
Hey guys. Yep.
Do you mind if we take a break, Jonathan? Come back. We'll talk about with these guys here and talk about what breweries are doing right now, and also on Westword.com you put out a terrific heat map. What does that heat map mean? It's an interactive beer to go map. Such valuable information. We'll cover those things if you don't mind sticking around, Jonathan.
Sure, you bet.
Okay, cool. Let's take a break. We'll come back. I think that's neat, man. He's got a book. I want this. You want to know how to support local? Stuff like that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love the other thing was buy gift cards right now. Go out and buy gift cards.
Yeah, think of it as a donation.
Yeah.
But buy a gift card, of course, too.
Oscar Blues.
Oscar Blues. Okay, be back in a flash. The Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path.
It's clear.
Cyberland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
When you go to the mechanic in here...
Pass me the torque. Nope, let me have the flamethrower.
That sounds wrong. You know what else sounds wrong? When you hear about the interest you're earning on your savings with the largest banks. But with the Marcus by Goldman Sachs online savings account, you could earn much more interest. And hear this. Open a Marcus by Goldman Sachs online savings account in minutes at Marcus.com. You can money.
Comparison made to the 3 largest U.S. banks measured by total deposits. Rates as of February 4th, 2020 and may vary by state. Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC.
Posting your job opening to an online job search site is like drinking from a fire hose. You get more resumes than you know what to do with. Robert Half is the better way to hire. Our candidates are interviewed and custom matched to your exact hiring requirements. Quickly, satisfaction guaranteed. So what you need is just what you'll get. Robert Half, the experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Learn more at roberthalf.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Charlie Gottenkenny, brewmaster at Brews Beers, Denver's award-winning Belgian-style brewery. I am very pleased to tell you that our new tap room at Colfax in York and Congress Park is now open, and it is a unique experience. It's close to great restaurants, has a big sunny patio for warmer days, will feature live music, and it has a very cool contemporary Belgian-style bar and tap room. To celebrate our second location, we have 18 beers on tap, including several limited edition sour and barrel-aged beers. For some holiday good cheer, try our figgy pudding and our unique champagne beer, Brut Le Grand. Check it all out on our website, brewsbeers.com. That's Brews, spelled B-R-U-Z, at 67th and Pecos, and now open in Congress Park at Colfax in York. Join us this week at either location for some serious Belgian-style badass.
Wear black and eat spices. Hey, Modern Eater listeners, this is Zach from The Spice Guy, Colorado's favorite spice company. Spice is the variety of life. At The Spice Guy, we have a passion for sourcing the best ingredients from the best farmers all over the world. Choose from thousands of different GMO-free spices and ingredients, or Let us create and blend custom flavor profiles for whatever style of food it is that you're working with. With over 1,000 restaurants, food brands, and chefs behind us, you can't go wrong when you choose the Spice Guy for all your spice needs. The Spice Guy.
Spicy.
Born in Breck, raised in Denver.
TheSpiceGuyCo.com.
Hey, you know what? It's the new year, and everyone's always looking for new ways to be more profitable. And so they always attack the different line items, but one almost everybody never looks at is their utilities, what they're spending on natural gas. Brian, do you have any tips for us on how to save money on natural gas?
Absolutely. Just call me. Call me. That's all you got to do.
What's that number, Brian?
That number is 720-245-5771.
Be sure and give Brian a call at Encore Energy.
Hi, this is Lori Midson. I'm a food hack, a.k.a. food writer. I was just told that I should put my lines. And you're listening to The Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Live.
Okay, welcome back to the program. A couple more segments left from the live stream. Blake Butler says, everyone out there should know the services that Elin Wenzel has offered for our local chefs during these times. Truly one of the best locally owned businesses around. He's probably one of the most giving people I know. And he's just going around sharpening all of these restaurants' knives for them.
Yeah. Isn't that so nice? Well, I mean, at some level, this is the time, I'll tell you.
Get ready.
Something like what he's doing, and he's not doing it for this reason, but where my head goes is if somebody who supports me like that in a time of need, at the moment all this turns around, I'm going to give Elin Wenzel at Element Knife Company a call to do more business with him because he was there for me when I needed him, and I want to be there for him.
Buy a knife from Elin. That's supporting local. And buy a book from Johnathan Shikes on the line right now with us from Westword Magazine. It's Johnathan Shikes, the Colorado beer guy. Colorado beer man? Guy? Are you a man or a guy?
Yeah, man, I'm over 50 now, so probably man.
You're a man now.
Thank you for clarifying that because I did say that Greg was much older than you, and you just proved that right.
Earlier on, I was trying to describe on how we all feel kind of with what's happened this past week, and I said Linus getting the ball pulled out from underneath. It's Charlie Brown. I mean, it's Charlie Brown, man. That's who got the football pulled out from underneath him. Jonathan, in studio with us right now, and thanks these guys for coming in. It's Brandon and Alyssa Thorpe from Jagged Mountain. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
First of all, let's go to you. You heard a lot today on the show. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to take in. It's interesting to see the differences between breweries and restaurants and the different struggles that we're all going through. But at the end of the day, it's from the same issue, and we're all having to kind of adapt to this new reality. It's just interesting to see our common struggles.
Absolutely. Pivoting right now, trying to survive. So what are you seeing right now? What with breweries in particular, what's the pivot point?
Yeah, I mean, this week honestly has been positive for us, and I think most breweries would say the to-go beer option, whether that be crowlers, cans, bottles, anything like that, has actually been pretty good. I think a lot of our supporters are coming out and really trying to show that, yeah, we support you guys, we love you guys, we want to buy to-go beer so you can stay functioning and open. But I think the fear of the unknown in the next coming weeks is still there for everyone. We just don't know how long is this sustainable and what is it going to look like 2 weeks from now when people are, completely stocked up on beer or they don't want to go out anymore to get to-go stuff. It's just fear of the unknown. But honestly, the brewing industry, I think, is a little bit better off than the restaurant industry just because we've always had those to-go options. We've always had this kind of model, even though Jagged Mountain ourselves, we don't can beer and we don't sell to liquor stores, but we have a to-go option in crowlers, in bottles. So we're flexible that way, which is good.
When you look at, do you measure in barrels per week? What is your volume? If I asked you, hey, what was your barrels per week this week versus 3 weeks ago? Because you said you haven't fared too bad. I'm just curious, Alyssa.
I don't think we do barrels. I think we do more taproom sales, like dollar signs.
Okay.
More like.
Is it half? I don't want you to disclose like personal information, but
you're doing half the business last week. I think you're probably doing decent.
Yeah, I would say. It varies day to day. Some day, like the day that it snowed, whatever, Thursday or whatever, wasn't great. But I would say half, maybe 40% of what we normally make. It's hard to say this time of the year is really hard because honestly, this is the best time of the year for most breweries. It's spring, people are getting out, they want to drink on patios. Baseball season is starting, so it's really hardcore for us. We're right down the street from the baseball stadium, and none of that is happening right now.
Weird, isn't
so,
it?
Yeah. If you were to compare it to that, it would maybe be a little bit more drastic. But we're still optimistic in the fact that people are actually still coming in.
Yeah. What about employee retention?
Jagged has kind of taken the stance of we unfortunately had to furlough a lot of our employees just to stay alive with the rent prices in our area is really expensive. So I actually brewed a lot of beer in preparation for opening day. So we actually have a ton of
surplus
beer back stock, which is good and bad for me because I'm not really working right now. But good in the fact that we have plenty of beer to go, and plenty of options that people can choose from. So we only have one employee on staff right now. That's behind the bar doing to-go sales. And I think that's, similar case to a lot of breweries. They're rotating through their staff. Let's say they'll have one bartender on for one day and they'll get the tips and hourly wage from that one day. But that's obviously not sustainable to a lot of people. So it is tough.
You sell through some restaurants in town, right? Or no? Is it all your business is in growlers or?
Most of our business is through over the counter, tap room sales. But we did have a lot of restaurant businesses, keg accounts. But the only other business that we sold crowlers to was a place called Craft Alley that is down on Pearl Street. They're an awesome business. They actually get crowlers only, so no cans, no growlers or anything like that, just these large 32-ounce crowlers, and they can deliver it or through mail or delivery service, or you can go into their actual physical location and buy crowlers from them. So that is one of the only places that we do a to-go format.
Yeah, Johnathan Shikes on the phone with us. What you're hearing right now, does that sound pretty much consistent to what you're hearing right now from other breweries?
Yes, I think so. It's depending on the brewery and kind of where they're located and what their structure is. I think everybody's sales are. I guess I was actually surprised if Jagged Mountain is doing 40% of what they would normally do. That because I think there's some breweries that are way under that in terms of total sales that they're bringing in per day. So that's probably pretty good. But yeah, I think sales are way down. Brewers are trying to do what they can do. A lot of them are furloughed, and I like that word furlough more than laid off, because I'm hoping that all those folks get their jobs, that those jobs are still there for them when this is over. But yeah, they've had to put people on hold and that kind of thing all over the state.
Yeah, the talent pool of unemployed people right now is just off the hook. There's a lot of talented people out there without jobs from service industry. One thing that strikes me about breweries is I liken them to like sports teams, because they have a fan base of people that will wear their hats and their T-shirts, and they love them and they want to see them survive. The breweries of Colorado are beloved, right? You don't really necessarily see that with restaurants. You're not wearing your favorite restaurant's hat or T-shirt, even if they have one. But breweries, I think that's a great way to support your local brewery, is show that fanaticism of buying apparel.
Yeah, buy their swag now.
For sure.
Yep.
That would be helpful, right?
Absolutely. And we've kind of set it up in our tap room where we, have all of our tables completely stacked up. All the chairs are up, but we have a little corner right when you enter in to the building where we have merch set up. All of our to-go sales stuff is right there. So as soon as you walk in, you see everything that's available to go. And merch sales obviously helps our brand and just the bottom line in general. So, yeah.
And not to get too nosy of your business, but I want to revisit that. Okay, 40%, maybe that. How much of those operating costs were payroll? Just to kind of see where you would lay right now.
I mean, there's one person on payroll right now.
Right. But what would that have been? What percentage of that? I'm just trying to see where you'd be if the water settled, you don't have that payroll, but you're still selling some beer. Like, are you close to even functioning right now?
I think we are, like Johnathan said, I think we're a little bit better off than some breweries out there right now. Mostly because of our location, I think, is really amazing. Our reputation is good. I'm not sure about the specific numbers, honestly. I'm not an owner, so I can't speak to that.
Sure.
But I will say that everybody in the team and the owners are feeling very optimistic, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And as we're at day 6 of a long journey. Heat map. Johnathan, take it away. This is really, really cool, this interactive heat map to know what breweries are doing there. Can you explain a little bit more?
Sure, and it's actually the Colorado Brewers Guild who built that with the help of with the volunteer help of a woman, Megan. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. I think it's Blease, but she works with this. She does this for a living. Building interactive maps, and she built this very cool one that shows all the breweries. Well, I think she's working on all the breweries that are in the guild, and then maybe all across Colorado. And you can find it. You can look at the map and look where you live and or where you're headed that day, and you can find the breweries, and then you can click on them, and you can see who's open, who's doing gift cards, gift certificates. What the phone number is, the website, if they're doing, or if they're doing ordering online, or if they're doing, beer pickup, delivery, whatever it is. So I think she's updating that on a fairly daily basis, trying, as things change, and they seem to change every 12 hours or so.
That's good.
But it's continually getting updated. So it's kind of a neat tool that people have to just figure out where they can go and how they can help.
Cool. We're going to jump in the next segment to some spirits, see what the distillery world is doing. Johnathan Shikes, please mention the book again, how you can get it, and then any final thoughts, please.
Sure. The book is Denver Beer, A History of Mile High Brewing, and it's available on the websites for Tattered Cover and for Book Bar, and as well as Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com, and it's definitely good reading material for people right now. And it gives a lot of history and talks a little bit about some of the modern breweries. I was over at Strange Craft last night, selling some books, but also I gave the money whatever money that I made on it, I was putting in their tip fund, and I've certainly been, I've loved being a part of craft beer for the past 12 years, 13 years in Denver, and I just am trying to give back whatever I can and rotate around and buy gift cards, buy beer, show up at places with smiles, and spend some money. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
I'd say I'm surprised, but I'm not. I mean, that's just you, Johnathan. And I think that's all. I think that's a lot of us right now, just seeing that resilience.
I think that's everybody, yeah.
And the giving. Man, we're going to catch up soon under different circumstances, but if you don't mind, be accessible to us because we're doing a live stream for 3 hours every single day, and would love to have you back.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, thank you.
Johnathan Colobeerman Shikes, right there from Westword Magazine. You guys like spirits?
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys stick around. Jagged Mountain here with us. You want to stick around and hear Rocker Spirits, what they're doing?
I'm in.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then, again, a little special edition, 15 minutes. Mark Whistler is going to join us at 8 o'clock, and we'll continue on right here on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Choose your path.
Sorry about that. We're good to go.
Babaland.
Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook for all the fun photos and videos. Just search The Modern Eater or check out the website, themoderneater.com.
Are you looking for senior care for your mom or dad but don't know where to start? Hi, I'm Joan London with The Place for Mom. Nobody knows your parent or loved one better than you, and nobody knows senior living better than the experts at A Place for Mom. They've helped thousands of families find the right place for their mom or dad.
I was so glad that I called A Place for Mom. My advisor really listened and was truly my partner in finding senior care for my dad. She went out of her way to get to know him as a person and was always there whenever I had a question.
The senior living advisors at A Place for Mom partner with thousands of families every month, listening and offering local knowledge and advice to help find the best senior living communities across the country. And it's a free service. Here's the number.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-0286.
There's a place for answers, a place for mom. Call today.
Call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-0286. That's 1-800-469-0286.
Hey, it's Chef Elon Wenzel, owner of Element Knife Company. If you cook, then you'll know the importance of a quality knife and proper care. My training in Japan exposed me to exceptional cutlery. That's why I am so excited to offer you the knives I fell in love with. Element Knife Company is chef-driven, and my goal is to support and educate. Get at me for a knife clinic or conversation. Find me at elementknife.com or by simply calling 303-460-4628. For the best knives in your kitchen, think Element Knife Company.
Hey guys, Chris Johnson here, owner of Rome Sausage, your hyper-local source for all things sausage awesomeness. My family is proud to carry on the fine traditions of Rome's founder, Jerry Rome, by producing a variety of amazing sausage in small batches with an eye on quality, not quantity. Every batch is made here in the great state of Colorado by hand mixing spices, utilizing lean cuts of pork to make an outstanding product. Sourcing ingredients and materials locally, we are committed to supporting local vendors, chefs, restaurants, and the entire Colorado food scene. Getting hungry yet? Brats, Italian, breakfast, hot Polish, green chili, chicken apple, and the world's best chorizo. You can source all of our sausage through a variety of food service distributors. If your distributor doesn't carry it, call us. We'll come direct. You want a custom item? We'll do that too. Samples, and of course,
Dustin doesn't answer.
Can be had by contacting me directly at chris@sausage.com or by phone at 303-296-7663. The Modern loves Rome Sausage, and I know you will too.
What do you get when you have two women who love to play with corn? A unique craft distillery, of course. Let me explain. Hi, my name is Alex Tudor. My mom and I own Meridian Spirits, located right here in Colorado. Chances are you've seen our award-winning Coop Gin and Coop Vodka on the shelves at many fine local retail locations. Here's our mission. My mom and I believe that family is important, and our business is a reflection of that. When you taste our delicious and locally crafted spirits in a cocktail or by themselves, you'll taste our passion for what we do. Here are...
Yeah, he's not answering, and I can't leave a message because his mailbox is full.
We love to share, because everything is more fun with friends. Next time you choose a vodka or gin, consider us, Meridian Spirits.
Now it's time for the Modern Eater's Booze in the News segment.
I like my beer cold, my meat grilled, and my entertainment explosive.
All we need is a chair and a cooler beer.
Here's your booze news.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Booze and the News. All the booze news you can use right here on the Modern Eater Show. I think I'm hallucinating and just had a stroke. Something just happened to me right there.
I've been microdosing you all show.
Have you really?
Did you not know that?
Man, I could use it right now.
What would a friend be like me who doesn't microdose
what
you?
A strange it's that Graceful Dead thing, man. What a trip it's been.
Yeah, what a long, strange trip it's been.
And it's going to get longer.
Yeah. And we're going into the unknown, man.
It's interesting what I'm seeing out there, and I'm so proud of people, especially with social media. And again, it's early; things are going to take turns that we don't know. But people are using their little social media platforms to breed positivity right now.
Thankfully,
and I enjoy.
I got to tell you, we need that.
Yeah,
there's something that we need right now, and it's a shot of, paying it forward in any and every way we can right now.
You're figuring out who your friends are.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Continuing on, Alyssa and Brandon Thorpe here with us in studio.
Speaking of friends.
I know. And Mark Whistler joins us.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Hey there, we're going to get your mic going there, but it's a special trick we're playing.
Are you there?
What's thank you?
Hi there.
I hear you.
Please. Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
What a week.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
And I did promote that we're going to give a little stream extra. We're going to go about 15 more minutes tonight. I think you need to tune in when the iHeartRadio broadcast ends at 7:50, 8:50. We're going to continue on for about 15 more minutes to give you an extra, so stick around for that. But here we are, and you're seeing every pivot point possible with restaurants and bars and liquor getting opened up to curbside and delivery and remarkable times we live in, Mark. But this week with you, my friend, again, we're seeing true colors from people. You're just out there doing it, but it's instinct for you, right? Feeding people, servitude. That's what this business is about.
It's instinct for everybody in this industry. I mean, this is the hospitality industry. It's what we do. And I saw a really funny Facebook post the other day with this guy, and he's standing in his bathroom, and he's like, "Oh, it's nice to see you, Chin Chin. Oh, nice to see you, Chin Chin." And I think that it kind of speaks volumes to, we're in the hospitality industry. What do we do when we don't have any customers? We stand in the bathroom and cheers ourselves in the mirror. But we're just so used to providing hospitality for our guests. It's what we do, and this is not a singular industry. This is not even, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Even if you're back of house, you're surrounded by people all the time. I just think that it's just a huge paradigm shift for the hospitality industry, and to be able to provide that to people. I know that speaking to a lot of different people in the industry, and even myself, I think we've all had moments this week where we've just kind of lost it a little, and just
me and you.
Oh yeah,
but we're friends. We go back and forth, but it's tough. It's tough to keep that sanity. Yeah. And guess what happens to the people that you absolutely love? They get the brunt of everything.
It is what it is. But I was thinking about it last night after we talked on the phone, that's what. That's what friendship is. That's what it's about. It's really, going to the people that you love the most in your best times and also your worst times. And those people are ultimately, they're going to understand and kind of, accept you at your worst too. And I'm so grateful for you guys. I hope you know that. You guys being here tonight, I think it's awesome. Jay is just the backbone.
He's the rock.
He really is. I realized, Jay, you've gotten so good at what you do. I just watch you over there, and you're just a machine. And you,
Dustin is ready.
You're just like the producer genius extraordinaire, man. I'm really proud of all you guys. Just to see all the developments of this show. And I think the really cool part is that what you guys are providing this week, and I think more than anything, where there isn't a ton of communication between people, you guys are providing a little bit of hope, and I need you to know that, what you're doing right now, and really, you've got restaurants and all the hospitality workers and everybody in this industry, you really have their back, and I think it's important that the world knows that, and I don't think there's another radio station or online streaming service, there's a couple, but I don't think anybody who's really doing what you guys are doing 5 hours a day. How exhausted are you at the end of that every single day? And you're just fighting. You're fighting for the little guy. And I really, I think that we should all give you, a little hats off to what you're doing. And I think that you guys deserve a little bit of accolade and definitely a little bit of outpouring of support for the fight that you guys are taking to the world to try and restore balance and hope and financial security and jobs. What you're doing is completely
1 minute.
You guys deserve the Silver Star.
That's why you need to stick around to the other side. We're going to continue this show. Duston Evans just showed up to the party. They're going late. Hopefully we can grab him on this other side. So we'll put Dustin on hold.
Jump on Facebook, folks.
We'll get. Jay's going to get a hold of you, Dustin. See if we can get you. We just have a minute left in this show. You guys stick around. Let's do 15, 20 more minutes, and I think this is where it'll really open up. If you're listening on iHeartRadio on 630 KHOW, jump on over to the Modern Eater Facebook stream. We're going to continue on there. And again, Motel 6, the lights off. the Modern Eater, we're leaving the light on for you, baby.
Yeah, right.
All right,
you guys are.
Stick around.
Thank
right
you.
now. We're going to exit out of iHeartRadio and back into the Modern Eater stream. So we'll do that right here and right now on the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio. Okay, cool. We can just keep on going. Jay, that was seamless.
Yeah. Jay, what a pro. Like a machine.
Okay, here's what Jay's going to do right now. He's going to figure. Jay, here's
I'm gonna try.
Here's what you got to try and figure out to do is see if you can get Dustin in on the chat.
I know, but with it already going, I don't know what's going to happen when I mess with my speakers.
You need to open up the chat room.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to do all the audio box stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of the iHeartRadio feed.
I know.
And then see if we can get Dustin on there. But no big deal. We're going to continue on here. If not, Dustin Evans, he'll be on with us on Monday on the live stream right here on the Modern Eater Show. We continue. What a week we've had, you guys. It's been a trip. So I'm not encouraging you to get emotional or freak out but whatever, but we've got a little more leniency on the live stream. We can talk a little bit more loose, and folks are enjoying this. I see tuning in right now, and Little Rich Steiner was impressed by those skills there. Whoa, Jay.
Yeah, whoa, Jay.
We continue on the live stream. Okay, here with us, just so you know, in Studio Kitchen, Colorado, it is day 6. It's a Saturday. We're all just living this nightmare together. Food service, the chain has been broken, and we're all just jockeying for position of survival and pivoting, and it's almost weird to see this scramble, but this scramble is really showing me some innovative marketing ideas, what's working, what's not, curbside delivery, some restaurants deciding to do that, to not do that, to close it down. Mark, with all the things going on right now, what do you see out there that's working?
Yeah. So, absolutely, the takeout is working. I think curbside is working. I've seen the numbers for multiple restaurants around town, just through Eat Denver and just through some of the people that I know in the industry. And while it's not, full production numbers, they are, I think, numbers that are significant enough to sustain a restaurant. So,
for sustainable numbers.
Well, for a small, I think for restaurants right now, there's a couple things that you want to do is you want to try and keep your team in place, because we've worked so hard for these teams, including your front of house and your back of house, and the back of house, especially, back of house teams are really hard to assemble. Front of house too. I mean, both sides are. It's just once you have a team that's gelling on both sides, and you have no departmentalization, and all teams are gelling together. I think that's going to be one of the most difficult things after this time is for restaurants, once things reopen, to be able to restructure quickly, because obviously they're going to bring on some of their old team members, some of their new team members, and then just see what happens. But I think this is, it's a fundamental time for restaurants to be able to keep some people on their teams, and then also I think the restaurants that are providing, as much as possible in terms of unemployment guidance, and then also assistance in, being able to fill out and apply for and whatever else might be available out there in terms of help for the individual employee, and also just kind of staying in touch with them. We're trying to do it every single day through we just have, kind of a chat feed. And then also I'm trying to establish basically a closed Facebook group for my employees as well. And the other thing that I'm working on right now, and this is, and I know I'm getting just a little bit off topic here, is after we were talking last night, one thing I realized is that for everybody, and I think this is not only for the owner, but also the employee, trying to figure out exactly what all the benefits are that are out there is really kind of tough to navigate. And I think one thing that can really help, and this is what I'm kind of working on and what I hope to do, I hope to have it done either tomorrow or I think Monday night at the very latest. But and what I think we could do, maybe we can deploy it through the, I'll put it on the goods page, and then also we'll deploy it through the Modern Eater page. But you guys have seen like a mind map, right? Which is basically kind of like a molecular structure of information. You've got one bubble and then little bubbles around it. And
I use my notes.
So, yeah, totally. Yeah. So you get it. And I think what we could do is, have a page that basically is the, the restaurant owner, and then all on the same page. And then for employee. And when you click on that, it expands all the bubbles so you can see all your options, and then you can kind of poke down each one. Does this apply to me? Yes, no. Then go to the next one. Does this apply to me? Yes, no. I'll go to the next one. Yes. And I think that visual structure of information, that visual map.
Yeah, for pinheads like me, I'll be able to.
Well, me too. I mean, I got to tell you, like, because it's even for me, like, it's hard to figure out everywhere that we need to go. And not only that, once you get there, like, I filled out, and I've talked to a lot of people. You know, we filled out the city of Denver's. They have the grant program, the $7,500, and you know, it's like a 1-page application, and you fill it out, and it just basically says, "Oh, thank you." You know,
I did that.
Yeah,
I got no response back.
Well, yeah. So it just says, "Thank you. We'll be in touch," and that you're just like, all of a sudden, you finish it, and you're like, "Okay, was that it? Did I fill out the full application?
Did I do good?
Yeah. Did I do? When will I hear back? Is there any information forthcoming? What does that timeline look like?" So that's where, like, basically in this, you know, it'll say, "Okay, you need to fill it out." And then it'll say what's going to happen. Well, what's going to happen is, yes, it is a 1-page application. You have done it correctly. And then 2, we do not have guidance as to when when the city will be responding, whether that's 2 days or 2 weeks. But as soon as we know, you'll know, and that way at least you have some reassurance. Okay, well, I did it right. Like, at least, you know, I didn't leave half of the application hanging out there, and I, you know, then in 2 weeks they're going to contact me and say, hey, you know, you didn't even fill it out right, and or being at risk of not having any information because you didn't fill it out right. So I think that type of information, you know, providing like some type of assurance of like, so I think that's you know, we talked about it last night and in depth, and I think one thing that we talked about, Greg, for sure is, you know, when we had a frustrating conversation earlier in the week, and I think we left that conversation, both of us, kind of being a little
empty.
Yeah, a little empty, and I think, you know, really what's happening is that there's so much frustration, I think, everywhere right now, because nobody really knows. As you said before, it's kind of like wait, hurry up and wait, and so I think the one
it's
thing,
like we're saying the same things to each other,
yeah, right,
and we mean the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just not
jiving.
No, guys, that creates this stress.
Right, and you're totally right, and that's the point, and that's the point of this, to like get to those, when you get to like that end of the road, because this is like choose your.
I hear Dustin.
This is.
He's out. Okay, you're doing a good job. Sorry, I don't. Just you tell me when.
Like this entire period right now is kind of like choose your own adventure, and you know, you get to that place, and all of a sudden the end of the road, and like there's just no more information, and you're like, oh well, okay, what do I do now?
You mind if we rapid fire you some questions?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, see what you can answer.
Green is answer.
Wow, lots of people tuning in for this special after hours edition of the Modern Eater Show, I guess. Standing by to see if we can get Duston Evans from Rockers Beer. No, just a schedule. Again, we're doing a live stream starting at 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then again the Modern Eater Show from 6 to 8 right here from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Just trying to give you all the updates that we possibly can. Yes,
Greg, I just want to mention really quick. I just want to say to everybody out there who's listening, I just want to say, one, I want to thank you guys, the Modern Eater, for what you're doing right now. I mean, really, you're standing up.
This is our job, like everybody else.
Yeah, but you're going above and beyond. You're standing up for the little guys. You're standing up for the hospitality industry individuals. You're standing up for the restaurant owners. What you guys are doing is amazing, and I meant it earlier when I said you guys deserve the Silver Star. Then also, I really want to thank.
I like gold stars. Why silver?
Oh yeah, gold. How about platinum? You want platinum? No, we're gonna give you a I don't know, maybe a brown star. We're gonna,
brown star.
No, brown's not a bad color.
Yes, you found his home.
Yeah.
Yes.
As long as it's a
so,
star.
but we're just gonna give you a star. That's it. It's gonna not gonna have any color in it at all. It's just gonna be a star. Okay.
But so hurry up.
So there's that. But I also wanted to say, I want to thank all of our volunteers over this entire past week. I want to thank Chandra Lopez for helping organize volunteers. I want to thank Judith Brown. I want to thank Ellen, who came to help distribute yesterday. I want to thank John Brown. Oh, yeah, sure. She flew all the way here just to help us put together some meals. And I want to thank Eric Olson. I want to thank my business partner, Charlie Woolley, for being so supportive. And I just want to thank everybody out there, especially kind of on our Facebook page. What I've seen is such an amazing and encouraging outpouring of support towards us. Like, I have no idea what's.
Have you had any bad Yelp reviews? since this?
No bad Yelp reviews. I don't know. I haven't checked, but I'm going to check.
You see that?
Oh my God, you should have totally punked me
Wouldn't that have
tonight,
been
like
funny?
with an
Dude, you got a
anonymous bad
terrible-
Yelp review. I would just be like, I would probably that would be the typical. I would lose my mind. You would see me running down Colfax naked with a butcher knife.
You see that every day, though, man.
Right, you do see that every day, but you got to get up early. You got to get up early, and yeah.
Okay, I always have to take a pause and say, grab a laugh when you can get a laugh.
Yeah.
Because these times are so difficult. You got to jump in anytime you want to in this conversation.
Right.
We talk about the hurry up and wait right now.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's frustrating,
Yep.
especially a lot of us just in isolation. And, generally here it is 8:08 on a Saturday evening. You're deep into the goods right now. You're just working and your team's working and you're trying to just jive and do that mix. And,
Yep.
and that's what the restaurant business is about, just moving and shaking. So now we move down to a slow pace. It seems like it should be slow, but it's not right now. It's interesting in this waiting pattern.
Yeah, you're right. And, it's kind of weird as I've had people contact me. They're like, oh, my God, we know that you work 100-hour weeks, 7 days a week. Like, it's got to be nice to, not to have this time off. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't understand. Like, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, just trying to research and kind of acquire new information, figure out what the heck is going to happen in each day.
You can say
figure out. And then also just kind of figure out, where we're at.
Where's
like
the help?
that. Yeah. And then also where we're at, because everything is changing every day. And then from there, I switch over basically to try and update financials, and get, kind of, obviously we all still have our end of year tax stuff to clean up. And, that's a huge amount of work in and of itself. And then on top of that, with my business partner, we chatted, during this time when we're closed, we want to obviously just inventory everything, deep clean everything. We're probably going to do some renovations too. And then also, switch over and then just make sure that we can do, get all these volunteer meals out every single day. So we we're providing over 100 meals every day for Rocky Mountain assisted living. And then we on Colfax and Franklin through, and I also want to thank Frank Locantori for helping us. And
BID, right?
What's it?
Colfax BID?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Colfax Business Improvement District. And then also, I would like to just mention really quick, if there's anybody out there that does need assistance, we can provide meals, and we'll, if there are other needs, we'll do our absolute best to provide them for us. And you can find that on our Facebook page. If you scroll through some of the posts, you'll see Chandra Lopez's phone number. And Chandra Lopez is, she's just been amazing. She's organized this entire volunteer network.
Everybody gets a cheesecake.
Oh yeah. Hey, by the way, these cheesecakes are from, they're called Queer Cakes by Darcy. And she's amazing. I just wanted to bring those and mention her name.
Wait, Queer Cakes by Darcy?
She's amazing. Like these there's two that I brought with me for you guys to try. And I know that her business has slowed down significantly. So I just, wanted to give her a shout out, and maybe we can just show one or two of those cheesecakes.
Mark, let me jump back into something that you said, because I think you said something that's really important that could be a bright note to this whole thing right now.
Yep.
And the reality is listen, take this time. If you have the ability and you're running a restaurant that has the cash flow and access to cash, this is the time. The silver lining.
It looks like we're there, Jay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can.
I hear him.
You can jump in and
right.
start doing some remodeling in your restaurant.
Even if you for us, a lot of what's going to happen in the future will be dependent on what we can access in terms of the SBA economic disaster loans. So that's A. So, but for us, even we may not have the cash to remodel right now, but what is free and what I can access is elbow grease, and it's right here. And all of us, we can use that elbow grease to deep clean our restaurants. We can do some remodeling with what we have, with even out of cash budget. This is a time where a lot can be accomplished without tons of money. And
can you pause
yep,
that?
absolutely.
I apologize.
Yes.
That's because we need to give that time. Can Dustin Evans hear us from Rocker Spirits?
I don't know. Can you hear us, Dustin? Have you been drinking a little bit tonight, Mr. Evans?
I hope so. Hey, Dustin, it's Greg. First of all, how are you? And have you been drinking that hand sanitizer? I understand. Okay, what a strange week. You've never witnessed anything like this because none of us have. And I guess if I was in any position right now, I'd want to own a distillery because you're sitting on a commodity that everybody wants, that whiskey. And I heard whiskey actually cures coronavirus. I don't know if that's true or not, but all right. Dustin, man.
Yeah, we're going to call that a trial. That's a trial study.
I see on the video right now, Dustin. Are you inside of Rocker right now? I don't recognize what I'm seeing. Okay, Rocker Spirits in Littleton. You guys, first of all, I think your first edition of your barrel-aged whiskey is ready. Am I wrong or right? I hope so that you can too. It looks like you are in the Duston Evans office in your house there. Dustin, I want you to just free flow it. What have you seen this week? What are you facing? I know you are an advocate for small business. You're to the bone American. You're a hardworking guy. Just give us some Dustin time right now, if you would.
And it just keeps coming back to the same thing that we always talked about when we were on the Modern Eater, and the show is its community. We're being tested. We're being tested. Our community, our state, and our country and mankind is being tested right now. And I think we'll find the good in this, but we're going to have to walk through a lot of pain to get to the other side of this. But in my life, I've never learned anything without strife and without pain. And I think the small businessman is having to reevaluate his business model and look at different ways to try to survive and prosper. And those guys that are willing to embrace that challenge and look at it and have the courage and the faith to go forward, they'll survive one way or another.
Yeah, I hate to see that way, and it's a thinning right now, and I know just because of the way that we're structured that there's going to be a lot of opportunity, even in the darkest and most destructive fires, leaves some of the best fertile soil that you could possibly have. It's a matter of resiliency, character, class, who you are as a person. I've been saying all week long that it's not businesses doing business with businesses. It's people doing business with other people.
Absolutely.
And when we get through, talk about that as far as, how much that means in entrepreneurship or just business in general.
I mean, it goes back to the core root of what we all are as kids, teenagers, and adults. We all want to be accepted, and we all want to be liked in that group of friends or that community that we walk within. And what we're experiencing at Rocker Spirits is I am just humbled every day by the people that we so affectionately refer to as Rocker Republic. Those are our followers. And those followers are stepped up and reached out to us and linked arms with us and said, hey, we want to be a part of the solution. We want you guys to survive. And without those people doing that, I think that's a much tougher proposition. Even if you have the money to weather it, if you don't have a following and a conviction of people standing at your side, that community, as I say, will hold you up much more than any financial. So I'm just humbled every day. We started our Facebook campaign on Wednesday. We started selling old-fashioned survival kits. It's an old-fashioned cocktail kit. And we posted that at 2 o'clock, I believe, on Wednesday. Within 45 minutes, we'd sold 6 bottles, 6 kits. By the end of the day, we sold $1,200 worth of survival kits. Thursday, we sold $1,700. Friday, we sold over $3,000. And today, we did close to $1,800. That enables us to make payroll. That enables us to keep our family together and continue to fight for the next day and the next week and hopefully the next month and the next year. So I am just humbled. I am emotionally moved by that, and I'm reverent to that population of people that stand up and support small business, support their community. So for me, we've never seen anything like this, just as we never saw the mortgage crashes of 2008, 2009, but we weathered it, and I think we became stronger for it. I believe and I have faith in that same progression, that we will come through this stronger, wiser, and better for it.
And with a bottle of whiskey. You're giving a bottle of whiskey to every Denver resident, aren't you?
And I'll tell you what, if I had that, we would have a different conversation.
We live in Inglewood. Are we still part of that?
Yeah. So,
Dustin, your words move a lot of people, and I think that just personifies the day and age we're living in right now, to where you're finding out who your friends are. True colors are being shown, and in this pattern of hurry up and wait, of uncertainty. The only thing that's certain right now is uncertainty, Dustin.
Yeah.
But this is a day and age to where pay attention to what's going on around you. There's lessons to be learned around every corner. It's hard to learn those lessons with all that noise going on. I always say to my team, chaos and confusion stifles creativity. And I think that's what entrepreneurs do best, is get creative. It's remarkable to see all of this confusion and chaos and the creativity that's still happening right now. And I think that's just basically a survival instinct.
I agree. People ask me a lot of times, and they say, what's the one attribute you attribute to your success of life? And whether it's of great success, mediocre success, I always say I'm a scrapper. I'm down for the fight. I will fight for those that I love, those things I believe in and I love, and I will fight. And I will not use people as stepping stones or as pawns for my own success. I will fight to support those values of common people. And I think people start to align with those values. And Greg and you guys, we've always aligned on those values, that community, family, friends, and like-mindedness
first
helps you persevere and helps you find your way through a lot of difficult things in life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you just have to pause sometimes during those things. So as we're seeing restaurants destroyed and service industry is just, the chain is being broken, and we're showing the effects from that and what we can do for each other. What's that call of action right now, Dustin? Because you'll probably say, support someone else other than you. But I'd love for people to show their support for my favorite distillery in Rocker Spirits. Your tasting room on a Saturday night, you would have John and your staff putting out delicious cocktails. Is everything off of your cocktail menu available for to go?
Not everything, no. Unfortunately, we do a lot of fresh juices and citrus and stuff, and it's a perishable item. But we did find probably 4 cocktails that we can do, both whiskey, vodka, and rum.
Old fashioned.
Yeah, old fashioned is our number one seller.
Admiral's Daughter.
Not Admiral's Daughter. We did a peach tea product that we can do in the vodka, and it's proven to be very successful and has a strong appeal so far. And our rum drink for our rum vodka.
Wait, rum drank, Dustin. Drank. It's a drink. Man, I look forward to the times where we're gonna be outside of Rocker and partying in the streets and bands there and this whole thing of social distancing. And I know how much you love to hug and kiss me, man. That must just drive you crazy right now.
Let's don't digress into your own personal fantasies, Greg. But the one thing is I think, I mean, if we can get to the other side of this, just like, being a young 16-year-old kid trying to get his first job to make enough money to buy his first car, when you earn it, you appreciate it so much more. And that's what a lot of these businesses are going to have to do. They're going to have to earn their success and their survival. And like I say, I'm down for the fight. I'm very reverent to the magnitude of everything that's facing our country and our world. But link arms with those that you love and that you have like values with, and stand strong with them, because we're not going to get through this by ourselves. We're going to get through this by committee and by linking arms with those people. And some of us are going to lift the others up, and we're going to learn from this. And I mean, like I say, the one word I can use through this whole thing is I'm humbled. I'm humbled by it. And by being humbled, you're going to be more open to looking at things through a different perspective.
Well, and Dustin,
absolutely true.
Tell us your slogan for your company. I think that's so important, because that's what we are in that space right now.
Yeah, I grew up without a lot in life, and everything I've got, I've worked hard for, and I love this country. I'm very patriotic, and a tagline that I created when we launched Rocker Spirits was forged with passion, infused with American spirit. And that's what, Jay, thank you for that segue. That's what a lot of us are going to have to do. We're going to have to reach down and figure out where we were forged from and find out what your passion is. If you want to roll over and play the victim, you will be run down. If you want to fight and scrap and swim with the rest of us, we might find the short line and live to hunt another day and continue that success curve of, just life. They call it the game of life, and there's no game that's tougher. And here we are. So,
left with all of us. Waiting is no fun, but on the other side of waiting, do you know what that yields, Dustin? Delicious aged whiskey.
Well, we're
age
so
some whiskey.
hopeful. We're at 347 barrels.
I always guess. You did that for me. You jumped up 100 barrels.
I was trying to keep you from wanting to hug and hold and kiss me, so I just jumped right to it.
You can't.
Keep you from those embarrassing moments.
No, I need those embarrassing moments, especially right now. Dustin, we're going to follow. Obviously we got a lot of time on our hands, and we'll check in with you early and often to see what you're doing. You've always been there for us, the Modern Eater Show, and we're quadrupling our efforts to just kind of be turn the light on, be that North Star, that beacon of light right now for folks that through uncertainty, it's kind of nice to just know we're going to try and be there for you. That's for sure. And you've always been there for us. So closing thoughts, Mr. Duston Evans.
Be slow to action. Think about what you want. Once you figure out your clear path, pursue it with conviction, and don't waver. Stand with those people that will stand with you, because when this all settles, those are the people you want standing around you. Relationships are going to be tested, and relationships are going to be galvanized through this. So I'm just faith, whether it's religion, whether it's a belief, whether it's all Buddha or whatever, have faith in what you're doing and pursue it with all your passion and all your heart. And that's me. That's all I've ever done. I'll chase after life, and I'll chase after my dreams. And so we're chasing harder than ever right now. But chase after it. Just keep chasing.
Thank you, Dustin. And it sounds to me, you better have less than 10 people wherever you're at right now, man, because it sounds to me like you got something going on.
The connection's breaking up. I can't either confirm or deny that.
I'll be right over, Dustin. I'll be right over. Leave the light on for us. Dustin Evans, Rocker Spears. Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Just another man's perspective of what's happening right now. Mark Whistler, when we continue, again, Alyssa and Brandon Thorpe here with us from Jagged Mountain, and Mark Whistler from the Goods Restaurant. Of course, myself, Greg Hollenback, Brian Freeman, Jay Parker, as we continue this extended edition of the Modern Eater Show on a Saturday night. And I can't get enough of it. But what's the common theme, Mark, that you're seeing here from every voice that you've been hearing all week long on the Modern Eater?
Yeah, I think definitely, absolutely, exactly what Dustin just said. That it's community for sure, and I totally agree with what he said. That relationships will be galvanized through this period. For all of us, I think we're all in this together, and everybody's taking a little bit of a different approach to it, but I think that's awesome. In the end, hopefully, as we all scrap in our own different way, we will all kind of remain standing at the very end. And that I completely agree with Dustin there. We do have to have faith in each other and humanity. And we have to. I think one thing that's really important is just attack the situation, not the people. And so I just, I think community is it for sure.
I like what he had to say about going slow a little bit.
So I was thinking about that. That's what we're
and jump off dovetail this. I've seen a little weirdness today, and particularly about some well-known restaurateurs about maybe paying tips out and doing it timely, or if they're going to do it or what. Didn't act as quickly as some other people. But benefit of the doubt might be something to give people right now.
Yeah, I think for everybody, and I think I think everybody needs to give everybody benefit of the doubt, and I'm not just employees towards employers, employers towards employees, and then I think also as businesses towards the city and the state and the government. Even though we're a little frustrated, we still have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And we do have to remember that this is capitalism, and that just to kind of reiterate what Dustin just said, but yeah, absolutely. And again, as I just said, we really need to attack the situation, not the people.
Yeah, as much as we're pivoting quickly, knee-jerk stuff is really not.
Oh, well, yeah. But let me chime in there, because I think that there are some things in business that you do need to make a decision rapidly and execute
pivoting
it
quickly, but knee-jerk as far
as knee-jerk, and that's what I think what you both said is so important about not, at some level. It's important that obviously we all need money to get along, but also keeping the compassion in our hearts and recognizing how far that goes down. Because think about the small farmer, the small rancher, who has been delivering direct, who is bringing stuff to the back door of these restaurants. They're not getting paid right now either.
Right.
And that's a small farmer that doesn't have the resources. It's just they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Do you mind if we talk about that? I think that's a great conversation. Jay, could you monitor the Facebook page? Get some good comments to maybe read out here in the next 5 or so minutes. I think there's some good activity going on there. But, Mark, you have a pretty prestigious economic background, and I love the way your mind works, especially in business. This ripple effect that we're seeing right now, and acting as far as local municipalities, state municipalities, and on a federal level. I know we're all wanting, like, quick, you should know the answers. It should come out at us quickly. But to move fast on this, to say, okay, let's just blanket send money out to everybody right now, country, that's not going to do us any good at all. We have to identify who's being hit the hardest right now, figure out what those things are. But the unique nuances with small business is it's best not to have much debt, to be saddled with debt going forward.
Right.
The economic impact with small business loans being available, but it's like on a restaurant already working on thin margins, the prospect of first, because they're not showing you any grants first, they're wanting people to get those small business loans first before they give it, at least in my estimation, and this is where I would love for you to clear that up. But at what point, because there could be some restaurant owners, chefs, restaurant owners that are listening to this saying, I don't know what that next move should be. Should I get a small business loan, saddle myself debt to be able to go on and make my margins even thinner, or should I throw the keys on the floor, shut the door, let the landlord get them, and regroup for a later day?
Yeah. Well, I think right now, for the most part, I think most landlords are extremely understanding. I think that there definitely has been federal, state, and city protocol to assist in that department, and I think that most landlords, I really, other than a few stories, I haven't heard of too many landlords actually being kind of on the extreme side of demanding payment. We have received a few kind of weird bills over the last week, and I look at them and I'm like, okay, well, remember that, and we won't do business with your company again. But for, I would say 95% of the companies that we're dealing with have been extremely understanding. I think everybody's being extremely understanding, and we have to be understanding as well. And that, I think that is the most important part there. And, I think on a larger economic basis, what we do have to also understand is that, and I was kind of thinking about this last night, the trickle-through effect of people not having paychecks coming in and the lag time of unemployment showing up, whether that's 2 or 3 weeks. In that 2 or 3 week period where we really see a significant, even more perhaps significant slowdown in overall economic activity, as people just don't have the money to buy takeout or, I think on that side, we're
kind of acting within our community to make up for that shortcoming, to mitigate that.
Yeah, for sure. But I do think that people need to prepare themselves because there could be more downside in markets, and especially I think one benchmark that we can all look at is just the Dow 30, and for sure, there is, third standard deviation is currently sitting at about 12,500 or 13,000. And if we get to that place, there's going to be mass panic, but we could pop up pretty quick from it. And I think that we, as kind of a populace of people, we need to understand that the possibility of 15,000 or 13,000 or 12,500, it does exist. And it doesn't mean the entire world is collapsing. It just means that a lot of people got really scared really fast. And that like everything else, that too will recover. But the thing is that if we do hit those levels, and I'm not saying we will, but I'm just saying if that possibility exists, what we do have to understand too is that the greater the fear that kicks in, the more support that the federal government, the state government, and the city government will kick in as well. And then I think also in terms of, businesses, I was thinking about it, and as I kind of hear about some of the numbers across the board, and just even listening to Dustin's numbers, those are great, but those are exactly in line with the numbers that I mentioned before that I think people are starting to see. And I think the people who are out there who are buying spirits and people who are, ordering takeout, they're still being a little bit conservative because nobody knows what's going to happen and nobody wants to spend all of their money. And I think America on a whole, we don't have big savings accounts, and a lot of people, live paycheck to paycheck, so people are hanging on to what they have. But what we do have to understand is that I think, and this is where we have to have faith that ultimately, in the recovery, that the the city and the state and especially the federal government, and also understanding that people like Dustin and people like us and like every other restaurateur out there, we're all born to fight. And really, I think when you hear about the high rate of restaurants that go out of business within 3 or 4 months, well, that's really because I think those restaurants in and of themselves, maybe the person who was running them, the owner, just didn't have enough fight in them. And that's, if you have enough fight, chances are, if you're willing to do whatever it takes and, figure out a way to make it work still, chances are you'll still be around. There are situations where people just, it's out of their hands and there maybe something has happened and there's nothing they can do. And that does exist. And the other thing too is that what I really, really hope happens, especially on an economic level and on a national, a state, and a city level, is it is so hard to run a small business today. I don't think most people understand how much is against small business owners. And this, I just, including, minimum wage going up 57% in the last 3 years, just all the taxes that you pay, these are the things that just make it so difficult to really try and figure out how to make the margins work for all of us. And I don't, and I know, on that side, I hope that there's a significant reevaluation of what we really do provide in terms of the opportunity of capitalism for everybody, including not just big business, but small businesses and anybody who wants to start a small business. But the problem is that the more regulation, the more taxes, the more everything that we heap on top, the more difficult we make for us, for your average Joe to start a business and provide jobs to the community. And that's the one thing that needs to be held clear moving forward, is we need to reevaluate absolutely everything and make it as easy as possible for everybody, especially in the hospitality industry, to create and provide and sustain jobs. And that is a approach that our regulators need to take as they move forward in the future, because the more red tape you put in, the more regulatory bureaucracy that you have in existence there, and the more taxes that you slap onto small businesses, the less recovery there will be because of the less ability and probability of success for small businesses. So I hope that is one thing that significantly comes out of this, is a restructuring of small business capitalism within America.
Wow, how'd you do that without a breath?
There's a lot. Yeah.
Well, and here's where I want to go, and I'm going to tee you up, Brian Freeman, is that at the beginning of the week, and I knew this would be a topic. I knew it would be. But this was like Monday, man.
Oh, I've been biting my tongue listening to Mark right now.
Brian comes in there, and he puts
because I have a different.
And I don't want to restructure this the way you said, but you said something the lines of, are we seeing that there are probably too many restaurants in Denver to begin with right now? Yeah, I'm with that.
Well, I mean, we did it from a statistical place. We were talking with Jared Leonard from AJ's, and Jared has many restaurants. But even someone said, statistically speaking, for the amount of people that are in Denver to the amount of restaurants that we have in Denver, we have too many restaurants for the people that we have. And see, and Mark, I don't think I differ from what you're saying. I think that there's some loaded things in what you said from my perspective, because I look at it, I started a company from a farmer's market stand, from a 10 by 10 booth that started in I got involved in 1994 and grew that into a $15 million company. And I didn't feel that there was, listen, when everyone was crying about Obama and making me get insurance, I already did it for my employees. Yep. So there was all these things that I was already saying. I didn't mind, now I was in the food business. My tax structure was much different in wholesale food than on your side in the restaurant business and entertainment business. I don't feel that we have too many barriers in front of us, but we all have a different lens, right? We all come at business from a different perspective. One of the things, though, that I did feel, though, there's a concern that I have of all the people that are running the businesses. There's a lot of people that, are they running a sound business? Did they set their, listen, I'm someone who I just sold my business, but I look back and say, I didn't do a good job. There were things that I would have done different from the very beginning when I set up my company that I look back and I'm critical on myself and saying, what can I do?
Is this a reflecting time?
So, yeah, absolutely. And I think that, when I said earlier that, this is a time to kind of get your financials in order. And that's the thing, that for all of us, this is a time to get our houses in order too. But I got to tell you, being a business owner, it's a learning process. And you can be a manager. You can, be really well educated. You can have tons of experience on the other side. But it's not until you become an owner that you have to deal with all the other crap that there's no way that you could possibly experience unless you're in those shoes. And let me tell you, the one thing at least in my seat is that over the last 3.5 years as an owner, I've been humbled every single day. I am wrong so much. It hurts. But that's the thing, is that's what makes us better as business owners, is to be able to look at ourselves from a distance and say, okay, you know what, I can do this better, and I also have to figure out how to do it better.
Well, but Mark, I've seen a lot of restaurants. Remember, I've dealt with restaurants for 15 years.
But the other side is that I think one thing you have to realize, especially from my shoes, I see restaurant groups that have teams of people. They have marketing teams, and for us, we're a small independent restaurant. We don't have those teams. It's pretty much me doing everything, and we just don't have the budget for it. And I think that's the one thing that is really difficult as a small business. That and I know a lot of restaurants that are in our exact same position, where you have owners who are working 100 hours a week because there is nobody else. There isn't.
Were we having these conversations 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, but the thing is that you are so right, because at the end of the day, what really makes a restaurant survive or not is figuring out how to do those things better and do them correctly. But that's a learning process.
Well, but how to work on the business and not keep working in the business.
Yes.
Because I think that there's a lot of tools that, listen, I've been there. I have been in the hurricane that is my business, where it's like a fight. And to your point, I mean, you're talking to a guy who wakes up at 2 to 4 every day.
Yeah.
Still, even because my mind is that way.
But,
and I mean, and I'll work a 12-hour day and I won't even think about it.
Let me do a reset here. Okay, so a hard stop. We said 15 minutes after that. It's 8:43. Hard stop, 9 o'clock. Promise, Jay. I know it's like we need a little bit of sanity in our lives here.
Yeah,
we continue to do
but
that.
The thing is that you guys are in the business right now. I mean, you guys are trying to do so much this past week, and 5 hours every day, and plus there's probably 10 hours of work outside of that to throw everything together and get your, all of your guests organized. And like, this is kind of the hustle of the restaurant business every single day. And there's just so much that happens, and there's so much of the unexpected. And Brian, you know this, I think, in your business as well. And I just think, the one good thing here is that everybody in a way, and I think even if you're kind of taking on the takeout model, or you're working as Dustin is to in his takeout and his curbside model, which is putting together these innovative packages, you are getting a chance to take a little bit of a step back from the normal hurricane of operations. And this is a time where not only that hopefully we'll have the kind of I think just regulatory kind of soul searching in terms of, okay, do we really want to make things easier or more difficult for businesses to get back on their feet after this? But also there's the soul searching that businesses should be doing internally, and not only saying, okay, how do we make money now, but maybe what are the things that we could have been doing better before? Mm-hmm. How does that exist? And that's really where we need to get our houses in order, including the deep cleaning, the renovations if possible, maybe also figuring out to speak to Rebecca's points in the past, on the onboarding process or training, or all those things are exactly what you just said, Brian. It's not working in the business; it's working on the business, and and I think that's for us, that's a lot of what I want to use this time doing, and I think you're so right.
Hey,
it's just
Jay Parker here.
Hey, Jay Parker.
I mean, you just have to cut him off. There's no polite way to do it.
He's got a lot of passion, man.
He does, and I love it. So, Facebook message here. I'm just doing my parts. Blake Butler says, "I know we're highlighting coronavirus, but can't distract from the long-term goals that we need more female brewers. So much respect for Alyssa and all of our other Colorado female brewers."
Nice work, Blake.
Here's the thing, and this is a completely different conversation. But I read that message. And my 2 cents is I cannot wait for a time in life to where
you don't have to say it.
You don't even have to say that.
Thank you.
And most of the time now, whether you believe it or not, when female brewer versus another brewer, I don't care. Not that I would care before, because I'm not that person.
Let me taste your beer.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, can you be here at 5:30? Can you bring beer? Cool. Yeah. What'd you put in it? Sage? Far out. Is it delicious?
You sound like a girl, are you? I mean, I don't know. Be a guy.
But I mean, but at the same time, he's right.
He is
it's like you don't want to have that and one day you won't. I mean, that's just time. I don't know if it's going to be in our lifetime, but.
Well, congratulations, Alyssa, on being female.
That's awesome. Well, no, I mean, as a successful brewer, that's awesome.
What a dumb thing.
Well, I will say, from my perspective, I always think the female brewers are way more attractive than the male brewers. So, that's just me. Yeah. I'm a little part of the portion, part of the world. That's just me.
I think so too. So it's all right.
And again, Alyssa, you jump in, you guys, if anything on this conversation.
Yeah, Brandon, shut up for a minute. All right.
I know.
Quiet, bro. You speak way too much. One of the things that's pretty striking, and again, the ripple effect is what I'd like to see, because this isn't just. It started out as food service, right? But then it went into massage, and then went into haircuts, and people are being shut down everywhere. It's not just people are suffering everywhere.
Right everywhere right now.
But food service first to get hit, but first to return strong. What do you think?
I mean, we don't have a choice. I mean, I think it's definitely probably the largest industry by numbers that people are seeing, and it's also something that they access every single day. Like, you don't need a massage every day to live, but you do need food.
Yeah.
And I think that is why we're just, we're seeing so much immediate just attention to it. But yeah, absolutely.
It's 8%, right? Didn't you see our unemployment went from like under 1% to 8% overnight?
I think it'll reach up to 20. Well,
to 20,
at least,
right?
Yeah.
That's a current prediction.
Well, and something scary, Mark, that you said, and I'm sorry, Greg, I'll let you jump back into this, but the real thing, and I go a little bit deeper on the economy, because guess what, folks? What just ignited was a potential 3 to 5 year recession that we are about to experience. Mm-hmm. There's no changing that. That is happening. We are coming. If the interest rates, like what they just said, and if you're paying attention to the market and the news, all of a sudden we're lowering the Fed fund rate, but interest rates are starting to creep.
Yes, right.
What's scary is if home interest rates get up into the 7% range, expect a 10-year recession, and then things get really tricky for people to come back and get into it.
Yeah. We do have to remember that the home interest rates have been at those higher levels before in our lifetime.
Oh, gosh,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And the other thing, too, is that I don't want to date myself, but I do think that this is going to be a huge shock to our millennials who, they were still in college or in high school when 2008 happened, and they really don't understand what it's like to have to work through a struggling economy, because it's been so good ever since they were out of school or, graduated from high school. Like there've been so many jobs.
They're
like
going to come to work before 9 a.m.?
Yeah, that would be amazing. But but I also...
you got a couple millennials. Yeah. Now Brandon's speaking up. I like it. Here we go, Brandon.
All right.
Okay.
Damn it.
I'm in the midst of a refi right now, and it's really scary times. In the course of a week, I've gone from a potential 3.2 to a 4.2, and it has nothing to do with what's going on right now. It's absolutely terrifying, and it's completely new, uncharted territory for us.
Yeah.
Especially currently on one income.
Yeah. So one thing I was thinking about the other night, and this is where I don't want to date myself, but in my professional career, I
date myself every night, Mark.
Yeah, right.
No, really, he does.
No, check
He's that guy in front of the mirror.
Please.
He is dating himself
every night.
Chin chin.
And that's grabbing a laugh.
You're so beautiful tonight, Greg. Oh, chin chin. Anyway. Not tonight, Greg.
That's right. I have a headache.
Anyway, I just coming out of school, I stepped into an environment where I think I was in the professional world for about 6 months until the .com bomb happened, and then after that, I also, I worked through 9/11 and then 2008 as well, and now this is kind of like the fourth kind of like catastrophic economic event that has occurred in my professional lifetime. And one thing I was thinking about is, the event with the when 9/11 happened, I feel like markets recovered reasonably fast, and I also feel like, and I'd have to actually look at the data because I could be wrong here. But I also, and this is just kind of from like gut, instinct and sort of what I feel like I remember. In 2008, I feel like the economy also recovered pretty fast. But after the .com bomb started, I feel like that was a much slower recovery.
Yeah.
And I think
the correction was.
Don't you think it's fair, though, Mark? This is way different, though.
Well,
I mean, this is.
I don't know. I don't know because it was such an upending of the economy and the paradigm of business as we knew it, and what we had launched ourselves into in like the 10 years prior to that.
We were selling concepts, though. At that point, we were selling what could be with the .com. We didn't really know.
You're totally right about that. But there was a huge industry reorganization, and I think like I don't remember exactly, but I don't think that the federal government was bailing out technology companies the way it bailed out banks in 2008.
Definitely didn't. Yeah.
And I just, I think that, the federal government, I think they kind of learned from some of those lessons and ways to, stimulate business a little bit more. But I do think that that's the one thing we really have to look at. Okay, how quickly is this recovery? And chances are we're probably not going to bounce back super fast.
Yeah.
And hopefully we do, but I do think that we all, all of us, especially even as restaurant owners, beer, wine, and liquor producers and distillers, and I think we just have to plan for a little bit longer recovery. and just understand that is possible, and then just balance our pennies and budgets based on.
Well, hang in there because we're gonna. I think the difference, Mark, right now is that people have lost real income right now.
Yes.
Where in most of those other events,
right.
you had the wealthy losing paper, not losing fake funny money that was in the bank or in the markets.
Yep.
But right now, I think that's what's so different about this than that goes back to like the recession is people on the streets have lost jobs, have lost income, and don't have.
That's what I wanted to touch on is that this economic downturn is not because of underperformance.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think the one thing though is really important is that we definitely. I think one lesson I've learned over the past maybe like 10 years since I've been out of school, and I'm kidding on the 10 years part, but I think the one thing is that we do. It's easy to get
40 years, right?
Yeah, 30. No, like 10.
20?
Man, I'm telling you, it's 10.
Okay,
maybe 11. But
10.
so anyway,
he was class of 2001. What are you talking about?
What? Come on. So anyway, it's I just it's really easy to get kind of a doomsday mentality. And, when we talk about community and we talk about pulling together and moving forward together, we have to remember that we have to kind of put ourselves in check and just not allow ourselves to fall into that doomsday mentality. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the one thing that really matters the most. And I just, we all kind of have to be positive together in order for some type of real restructuring and recovery to occur.
Alyssa, jump in. She's got something.
Yeah,
I see it.
Knock it out.
For me, it's like we, in the service industry in general, we're so good about supporting each other.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important right now for just mental health, actually, for all of us, because when I have always been under the impression of like beer is recession proof. Alcohol is always going to be around no matter what. Right. And we've never encountered this situation where we're completely closed down and I have no option to brew.
Right.
And I don't have a choice. And so I've found relief through our employees or talking to other service industry members and just finding connection through that, I think is extremely helpful right now.
Yeah.
It's a little solid. It's really, because there's not much your fault, Mark. Your fault is
nobody's fault here.
There's no
nobody's.
And I got to tell you, like, I think that one thing with our president right now, the more he finger points, the more he just loses credibility. And I think
you had to go to politics.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't want to talk about that, but I just I just do think that on
that political note,
given enough rope, he might actually just kind of be able to work his own way out. But
what I see is bipartisan is hopefully going to be a thing of past
let's hope
right now.
Yeah. Well, you think so?
I would just like to think that we're working together as Americans.
Yes. I hope so. Right now. Absolutely.
Well, I think we have to, you guys. I mean, I think if we don't, this is a time where if we keep letting, and I spoke to this earlier in the week on one of the night shows is I really do think this is a time we need to build community more than ever. Yes. This is a time that we need to just reach out to your neighbor, whether you get together or not.
Yeah,
but
what do you need?
But what do you need? Yeah. How can I help you?
Yes.
How can we make a difference? Listen, just because we can't get together in the backyard.
I am seeing some bizarre, as we just segue out with like a couple 4 minutes left. It's weird out, man. You drive in the streets. It's like Mad Max type of stuff going on. I don't want to get in elevators right now. I'm acting a little bit weird in that sense. When you guys came into it, I was like, I wouldn't be disappointed if you went and washed your hands right away.
No, that's not how he was. He forced everyone who walked in this building to wash their hands and sanitize. Yeah,
I think you should. That's right. What's that movie, Silkwood or whatever, where they spray people down with the hoses?
Oh gosh, yeah, Meryl Streep. That was pretty
all
intense.
Go in the office. We're going to squirt you all down.
Scrub you with a metal brush.
It's interesting times that we're in, and I just want to recap kind of the way the week looked last Monday when Michael Hancock and Jared Paulus, they both came out in restaurants and food service braced as dining rooms were closed down. And then day 2 on Tuesday, layoffs started to happen just quickly, 24 hours overnight. unemployment just skyrocketed. Day 3, restaurants were forced to adapt or die. It was like, how are we? This is how quickly, day to day, hour to hour, went. Day 4, where's the help? Small businesses just suffocating. Like, what are we doing? This holding pattern is, if you've ever circled in like the fog to where you don't know when you can land, but it's unnerving, right? Day 5, the purge, restaurants just unloading their goods, and you saw that, whether it would be employees or the general public just
and even distributors.
Yeah.
Everyone, we're getting rid of our food as fast as we can.
Day 6 today, hurry up and wait. And that's kind of where we're at right now, is waiting for Monday to see, we kind of live and die by the next announcement at this point. Crystal ball time, guys, and we'll just do a red robin and then we'll wrap it up and get back at it early this week. Crystal ball, what's this week going to bring us, Mark?
Yeah, I don't know any more than anybody else, but what I hope to see is some just solidification of the next stimulus package. I hope to see some actual action in terms of kind of the city grants and also the SBA loans in and of themselves, and see some actual some traction there. See some of those loans start delivered. I think more than anything, I'm worried about the pipeline of capacity that the SBA or any of the other organizations have to be able to process that paperwork. And also, we hope to see some actual traction within unemployment and actually see those websites be able to find some stability for people to file without crashing. That would be great.
How many times did you try, Jay?
Twice.
Yeah. So I just, there is a lot of need there for sure. And hopefully, in terms of crystal ball, hopefully that message of what we need more than anything right now is action over words. Hopefully that is what will really start to come out of all of our regulatory organizations and
right on.
So, yeah.
I hope so too. Brandon?
No crystal ball, but I would say it's important that we talk about it. This is not your fault. It doesn't matter if you're a barber or a brewer. You should not have any less self-worth than you did before. Things will get better. Stay strong. Eventually, we will be back to normal. Write it out. Don't beat yourself up. Stay strong and keep on going.
Mental health.
Holy cow,
Mental health,
dude.
yeah.
You mic drop. Like, where were you the whole show?
I know. Thanks for chiming in here in the last 30 seconds there, Brandon.
Those are usually the best people, It's like E.F. Hutton.
Man a few words when I have them.
And they're good when you have them, right? Yeah. That was really good, man.
Alyssa.
I like that.
Yeah.
To kind of mirror what you said, like, I'm hoping that funding will come through in support of small businesses and the people that are unemployed right now. I think that's a really big concern. Everybody is watching, the State of the Union every day to see what's going to happen. Hopefully that will happen this week. I'm hoping to see a continuing of outpouring of support for all of us within our community. And I think establishing community still, even though we're not dining together, we're not drinking together, I think that's still so important to really establish that over social media. The people that just come in to pick up orders, mm-hmm. I think that's so important still, because that's what's going to keep us all together, right?
Yeah, we're seeing these virtual happy hours and hangout groups and stuff, which I really think is cool. But you guys, you should encourage us. Put a little card in this, right? If you go away with, you're doing the Crowlers. Right now, if you go away with Crowlers, hit a time and make an appointment every single day that anybody that went to get those Crowlers, let's hang out tonight, let's drink that beer, and let's talk and just have community like you would do in the tap room. Same thing with restaurants. I want to try and figure that out and encourage you to come pick up your favorite meal from that restaurant, get in that chat room, eat your food, and have that community with the folks around you. You want to try something like that?
Yeah, I think that sounds fun. I love it.
That would be cool.
I would like that.
So, Greg, what's your prediction?
No, we're going Jay Parker.
Okay.
But by the way, I just want to mention this one thing. I was totally kind of giggling earlier because only the infamous Jay Parker uses terms like far out.
Yeah,
it was
far
awesome.
out, huh?
I love it when you were like, "Wow, it's like far out."
Far
I was
out,
like,
man.
"Jake, Jake."
Coming from a sober guy.
Yeah. What was the question?
Predictions for next week.
Oscar Blues is the first craft beer, Dale's Pale Ale.
Nailed it.
Predictions, man. I mean, honestly, I mean, everybody said everything already. I mean, I don't have a different outlook on something.
Yeah, well, I know I have a different one too.
I'm just, I'm hoping for the best.
Good.
You know, I mean, that's it. You know, that's really all I got. I'm hoping for the best.
Hoping for the best.
In respect to Brandon bringing up, don't blame yourself for your self-worth and all that.
Yeah, blame you, Jim.
Man, listen, my self-esteem and self-worth has been skimming the ground since the year of our Lord 1976, and I don't see that just jumping up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that's just me.
It's a talent. It takes time to figure that out.
That's right.
Maybe when you're 50, Jay.
Yeah, how are you? I'm terrible. I've always been terrible. Yeah, no, how are you, though? That's great.
You're consistent. I like
That's
that.
right. That's right.
Thank you for the laugh, Jay.
Yes, thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Practice social.
Oh, yeah, I'm done.
Any
You
thoughts?
want me to keep going?
Oh yeah, we waiting
Jay,
for
are you dating during social distancing?
I'm trying.
You are?
Yeah, well, yeah.
What does that look like?
The same that it looked like before the coronavirus.
It's skimming the bottom.
Yeah,
Remember when it's
nothing. Put it this way:
Meet me in my car. We're not going out to dinner.
Put it this way:
I like that.
if I have coronavirus, then I've got coronavirus too.
Yeah.
You get it? That's nobody can see me. You know,
You're
that's
too
a joke.
old to be getting diseases. You're giving them at this point.
Listen, man. I mean, it's funny you say. I mean, every day I'm snapping, going, "What are you doing?" They're like, "We're staying away from people." You know? Yeah. I'm like, but honest to God, nothing has changed.
Yeah.
My personal life is skimming right along the ground.
I got an
parallel with
you.
my my self-esteem. Hey, how's it going? Good.
Tell
We're
people
terrible.
you have a stockpile of toilet paper and hand.
Well, listen, man. I did a Snapchat today that says I've got booze, weed, toilet paper, and water, and I'm yeah, it's terrible.
And I'm alone.
It's terrible. I mean, it really is. It's. I didn't take it down, but a couple of people reached out and go, how old are you? Yeah, they're like, how old are you? You know, and it's like 43, and you still like that's a sense of humor that you think is doing something to someone. Yeah. I mean, it worked. 1995 was a good year. 95. I was out of high school. You know, college years not for me clearly, right? But in that time, had a good time, man. People paid attention to me, even girls. You know,
that was 95. So Whistler, you 95. Were just 8th grade freshman.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about that.
Definitely don't want to talk about it.
Crystal ball, Brian Freeman.
Oh, so let the hate mail start right now, but I'm just going to say it, man. I'd really like to see a lockdown. And the only reason why is because I'd like to get this behind us. And the sooner we stop socializing, the sooner we stop the potential that someone's out there. We need to get this under control now. I don't know any other way to do that because, I went out today to the liquor store. I tried to be outside, tried to do it by thing, couldn't, so I popped my head in.
To begin with, like you wipe me before all of this. You used to wipe me down, even if I'd come near you. You're like
totally, yeah. I don't know that it would wipe you down. I'd spray you with some weird antibacterial stuff. But yes, I mean,
Elise Wiggins joined the stream this week. Chef Elise Wiggins from Cativella, and she said to it, it was like let's just all shut it down for a shorter period of time, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes.
And completely, and then we can get back to it.
Yes, that's where I'm coming from. And if that's what you were going to say, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, but that's my truth. Is I hope that happens next week. Lock it down. Let's get this behind us because the sooner we do it, it's been proven by you look at other countries that lock their people down immediately, and unfortunately most of them were more communist, and but it worked. The thing is because now you're seeing the numbers go down, and I think that's important. You look at places like South Korea, even in China now, I don't believe anything that comes out of there. But
it's just devastating. I don't want to see the United States faced with what
is
Italy doing right now with Sophie's Choice of figuring out who should live and who should die. Because
I would prefer 2-3 weeks of hardcore lockdown over months, or dealing with what Italy's dealing with. I'm talking now at the last minute.
I know.
He's like, man, I've been waiting, you guys.
Hey, Jay, could you my mom just chimed in on the stream there. Could you read what she just said, please?
Sorry, I had to go.
Oh, Lord. Oh, thank you, Patricia.
You want me to read it? I'll read it. Yeah, it says Jay needs a blow-up doll.
Thank you.
Now, listen, you want to know what's funny? Because we're not on time constraints or FCC regulations or anything. Not that I'm going to say anything too bizarre, but I just want to say something funny about a blow-up doll, right? I'm proud to say that I've never had intercourse with a blow-up doll.
Oh, my God.
Oh, hey, that's wonderful.
Wow.
Whoa. All of our listeners are very happy.
I'm proud to say I've never been in prison.
Well, listen, this is applicable because you wanted me to read it. Your mom said it. I read it. So here's the thing. So this is what I say. I'm not one of those guys. But you put one in my house.
All bets are off, right?
You never know what could come.
It's like, I'm not going to go out and buy one.
I won't
I'm
buy
not
one.
going to do it.
Yeah. Give me one.
But it's like I have this daydream where it's like
Patricia,
it's
his
in
birthday's
the corner.
coming.
You know, it's in the
She
corner.
wants to date.
It's
Those are hard times.
all I'm saying is it's just a matter of time.
Just make sure you.
It might be 5 years. It might be 5 minutes. You know, but it's you put it in there.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, I put that in the corner, so it's like, all right, well, TikTok.
I've been talking to her. She doesn't talk a lot, but
Just sanitizer. That's all I have to say.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how do I get back to serious? Elin Wenzel is just laughing right now. And again, this is, grab a laugh. Grab a laugh when you can.
we need it.
Here's this week. Money makes stuff weird.
Yeah.
Money makes things real weird, and man, that people owe people money right now, and we're working with people, and Brian, give me that $20 you owe me, brother.
Wait a second. I bought you something in China. You still owe me money for
in China. Now we know. We know.
It was called the Little Corona.
So let me get back to my point. Is guys, listen. Money's going to come and go, and I know I need it. Jay needs it. We all need some cash right now. But if we start getting this real weird with cash, and that's what's going to happen this week, is everybody's going to start seeing their ledgers. They're going to go, where's the money coming from? Who owes it to me? And how do I collect? Keep it cool. Keep it classy.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this week being the money week. That's an interesting thing. I'm also seeing that all the great work that like the Colorado Restaurant Association and giving, allowing alcohol, that Monday could come down the pipe. It's all closed down. Martial law into effect. Who knows what that's going to be? Last Monday, we could have never thought when Sonia Riggs was in here on a Saturday night that restaurants were going to be closed down. But
remember though what the show next week is Denver Eater.
It's going to get worse, guys, before it gets better. Yeah. You're going to start seeing people that you know and that you love that are getting sick. You're going to start to see hospitals fill up. You're going to see the darkest side of humanity in the weeks to come. Keeping your cool, doing the right things, being there for people in the capacity that you can, but be safe. Know that money is just an object that we need to get by, but it will be back. Your relationships that you have are so important right now. So, so very important. This is going to be the money week, y'all. This is going to be the week.
I think you said it best, man. Keep it classy. Remember, we're all in the same, and listen, trust me, I'm in a business where I have $5 million out in the restaurant side. Yeah, do it the right way.
Send something out and just communicate. If you owe somebody money and you're avoiding them, give them a call.
Yeah, communication, man. It's really what makes things work out.
Hey, can we say this, that even when this coronavirus and COVID-19 is past us and everything like that, it's not a terrible idea to keep those same values of how you treat money. Yeah. Where if you owe somebody money and you can't pay them, have the common courtesy to reach out and go, listen, I can't pay you. I'm aware of it, right? I'm not stalling you out, but here's the thing. I don't have it. Let's work on something or something like that. I mean, they should be living like that anyway, but not everybody does.
A lot of lenders right now are being very understanding of the situation.
Yeah,
if you call them,
who are you and why are you so animate right now? It's like
your mortgage,
let's just
your
start
car payments,
a new show. dream right.
I don't get started till after 9. That's when I wake up.
I understand.
So I'm ready to go.
Like
First of all, I have to thank all of you guys.
Thank
Mark,
you.
do you have anything that you want to? Because we have all week too.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I just and I think we're all tired.
Is it the money week? I'm not tired.
Yeah, I think it is
now.
the money week.
I like your perspective on that, Greg. I think that there's what you're saying is it's real.
This isn't going to be the money week.
Yeah.
This is because things are coming to a bigger head right now.
Yep.
At first, it was just what can we do to survive? But now it's like, okay, I'm trying to do everything I can to survive, but I need to start collecting.
Yeah.
And I need to start seeing where real.
And you don't want it to be the Goodfellas thing. Don't be the F you pay me.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, not in a time like this. But it's hard because everybody is in the same, even at every level.
Unless the people you know that owe you money are already assholes before this whole thing, then it's okay to do the what's the thing called? F you pay me? Yeah, then it's okay. But you have to know that they're
well, but that's the sad thing, Jay, because there are people out there though that we're on the edge already. The sad thing is what about the restaurants that were about to crash before this whole thing happened?
But the whole thing with employees tipped wages, that kind of thing, like should your employer pay? Don't jump to the gun, right? Hear it from the horse's mouth. Talk to people first.
Give people the benefit of the doubt.
And don't use your social media to embarrass yourself.
Because remember 100%. That stays out there forever. And
good luck with that.
I think as Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high, and that's really important for everybody to remember.
Are you telling me to go get high right now?
Far out, man. No.
It's a run on wheat. There's a run on a lot of stuff. Hamburger. There's a run on. I hear right now. Bone broth. I hear you can't find
it
anywhere.
Eggs. I had to go to 5 grocery stores
to find eggs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I have some. I have some ground beef too.
You have some ground beef too?
Yes, I do.
In the black market.
What's up, Daddy?
Hey. I've got some nice organic
I do trade
ground.
I do trade outs. Be creative. Love each other. Stay connected. Do what you can to be safe. Take care of the elderly. Don't be a statistic. And the money will come back to you if you're good. If you're not good, you're going to show your true colors. And we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm going to see you tomorrow myself because the whole team needs a little bit of recoup. I think I'm going to tune in for about a half an hour, maybe an hour at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday, and then back at it Monday from 2 to 5 p.m. We're going to do that all week long, and then back here Saturday night, the Modern Eater Show. A lot's going to change. Stay tuned. Stay tuned in. And if you're not upset, if you're not working towards the future, you're not paying attention. It's the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Thanks, guys.